Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moroccan, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Bonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat your pan, like my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, party. TV. Yes, party. Spoon TV. Spoon. Ba. Kididi dabaro. Spoon entertainment. Kua. Kutile. On the phone. Yes,
on the beach.
To get your information. For the food to be mine. Spoon television. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know.
Oh yes, just tune to Spoon and you will know.
Just to spoon.
When the children are crying from starvation.
To get a news update, my brother.
You want to get the news. You want to know what the issues are. You want to get the updates. You want to know what Liberians are talking about.
You want to make their decision.
Just tune to Spoon. And I'd like to welcome you tonight
In the ministry.
this edition of Spoon Talk. That's the late night show, late night politics on Spoon. We're live across the Spoon Network tonight, as always. Live across Radio Land on Spoon FM 107.5.
Yeah, yeah. To just
We're live on Fabric Radio 101.1
my brother to
and on other frequencies across the country. Thanks to all of you for following.
Spoon Radio to
My name is Nelson Colette. The Late Night Show is back on the radio.
yeah, yeah. To
I want to welcome all of you tonight to this edition of the program. It's going to be great, very engaging. As most of you are aware, there has been some shift in the, some change in the time. The Late Night Show now comes your way on Fridays and Saturdays. That's when we are here to talk about the issues, to bring you the updates, to provide the analysis, and afford you the opportunity to have your say on those different issues of concern. And I want to welcome all of you tonight. I'm going to go to the comment section and recognize a few of you who have joined us already. Let me say that as you join us, we appreciate if you are to share the program tonight, share the show across your social media handles, in your chat rooms. Let's have a great conversation tonight. So I see Eric Miguel is here tonight. He says, I'm joining you guys from Atlanta, Georgia. Eric, thanks for joining us tonight. Mr. Miguel, we appreciate you a whole lot for coming through tonight. Yes, I see henceforth Joseph is here. Desmond Finley is joining in as well. Desmond, thanks thanks a lot for joining us. He's asking, where have you been? I've been here. Desmond, thanks for coming through tonight. I think you're joining us from Australia. Yeah. I see Kennedy Sunday is joining in Grand Bassa County. But it should be Soniga, you know. If you're joining us from Grand Bassa County, it shouldn't be Eric Sunday. You know, what's the name? Kennedy Sunday. No, you should be Soniga, Monema. You know, what's the other one? Saturday Ma, Tuesday Ga. You know, and all that Ma Ga. You know, Ga you. You know, all that kind of thing should be there. But I want to say thank you for joining us. Kennedy J. Sunday. Thank you for coming on tonight. I see a lot of you joining on tonight. Keep sharing the program as you come on. I see Momodu. Momodu is joining in tonight at 10th Street. That should be in Sinco. Hey, Desmond, thanks for coming on tonight. We appreciate you, brother. Ma Sarah Son Moore, thank you for coming on tonight. Agata Kenado, hope I got the name right. Sylvester Teves Na is joining from New Crew Town. Sabatus M. Young Jr., thanks for coming on tonight. We appreciate you. Thanks to the many of you joining on. I see Samuel Blamo. Seal Madela is here tonight as well. Roger M. Dole is joining us. Agata, thank you for coming on. And thanks to all of you. We appreciate you. It's going to be a great show tonight. Comic Nimba from Massachusetts, the USA. Thank you for coming on as well. For the Ducle and so many of you joining us tonight. Thank you for coming on. It's going to be a great discussion tonight. For the Ducle, I mean, Kiazulu. Thanks to all of you. You know, as most of you are aware, based on the new timing for the late night show, the late night show will be more of a time when we will come on here to flip through the happenings of the week. You know, dive deep into the major conversations, the major happenings. Bring you some analysis on those issues, and then just keep the national discourse moving But I appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. Will it be Morris, Comfort Yiban, um, Ashmon Vonle? Thank you to all of you, Jesse M. Kai. I appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. So yes, we're gonna have the conversation going on. We will flip the pages from the start of the week and coming on to where we are now, bring you some analysis on those different major issues here tonight. And I want to say thank you for always being on. It's been a while indeed. Like most of you have stated in the comment section that we haven't been on with the late night show. But yes, I appreciate all of you, and thanks for being here with us tonight. Well, there's been a lot happening, and it's just very important um, to go right into it. The guys will be joining me shortly, and we will get the show going on. But there's been a lot going on. Um, a whole lot has been happening within just 5 or 6 days. There's been a whole lot going on. We'll go through those happenings here tonight. But again, I want you to keep sharing the program as you join us. Kindly share the show across your social media handles. And let's have the conversation going on tonight. In the interest of our country, we'll keep having these conversations. We'll keep um, echoing and re echoing the need for the country to do better, the need for Liberians to unite, above all else, to unite and move the country forward, the need for state actors and political leaders and supporters of political parties to, at some point, put their differences aside in the interest of the country, in the spirit of love for country, and move their country forward. And of course, we're going to keep the conversation going on because this is where the true progress lies. This is where the real patriotism get to show face, and this is where we get to figure out as to whether we're making progress as a country or not. And in everything, one thing that's very key is the need for all of us to remain tolerant. You may not agree with John Brown. Peter Paul may have a different political view on issues, a different perspective on the different happenings. But how we know we are growing as a country, as a people, how we know that our democracy is maturing is when 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 all of us, irrespective of how we see things, we can tolerate one another. You know, you can tolerate the next man, though he's saying something that you don't agree with, you don't think is the way forward, but you can tolerate him. You can at least give him an ear, listen to the view of that brother or that sister, and then gradually we get to see our country make progress. But if we cannot tolerate each other, if you cannot give me an ear only because you don't agree with what I'm saying, then it means that we're not going anywhere. We're not making progress. And I think Liberia will progress, or Liberia is progressing, given where we are at the moment. And so I want to welcome all of you here on this show. We engage, we disagree, and that's why we have the entire community there, the whole community in the comment section, where you get to agree and disagree, express yourselves in the comment section. All of that is there, and and together we keep it going. And so I want to welcome everyone to the show tonight. Let's have a great show. Let's take you through some of the happenings. What are the issues that have been transpiring in the course of the week? And we'll do our best to provide you the analysis on those issues here tonight. For the 2 days we have to be with you on the late night show, we'll do our best to bring you the very best on the late night show every Fridays and Saturdays. So again, welcome to the show tonight. It's good to be here. I see Josh Wheeler is in the background. He's coming on shortly. Just before I bring Josh on, I don't want to bring CDC Australia on the show yet, because Josh ran his office on a huge budget, no audit report, and all of that. We'll go into that conversation later. But there's been a lot happening in the country, and to begin with, maybe we want to go back a little, or we want to start from where we are, and then we can go back to the activities, the rest of the other activities. Then we can go back. Well, let's do this. Sorry, guys, I have to conclude on this one. Okay. So yes, this is where we are. Josh, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight. I know you are on, and you want to see how you can convince more people to join CDC as part of your mission, your vision, and we'll see as to whether that is going to become a reality. You're muted at the moment. We can't hear what you're saying, but you can keep going on.
No, I will
Because
not go. I want to be heard. Yeah, Nelson, thank you for bringing me on. Look, Nelson, the reason I'm here all the time, using my time, is because I want to educate more people that people will not be misled easily. Because when people know the facts or they know how society runs or how government runs, they will not be misled by somebody who will say, people suffering in the country riding private jet. Because people did not know that private jet is necessary for the for the leadership of the country, because you don't want your president who's supposed to be meaning to do something for you to be sitting down airport waiting for
but Josh, on a serious
Yeah.
note, we haven't started the show yet.
Yeah,
I just said, Josh, welcome to the show. I've not asked you what's on your mind. I haven't given you a meaning. Now you started stealing meanings into the show already, Josh.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I will wait. I'll be patient.
I don't know how we're gonna do this thing, but I think Josh, you've already started. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, I will reserve all comments for now. Let's go into some of the happenings. Let's provide some of the updates, Josh, and then we're gonna come back and do our opening and get the show officially started tonight. But I love the energy you started with. It tells us that you're on fire tonight, and we're gonna have a great show. But the conversation about CDC, and sometimes we're trying our best to not discuss this whole CDC and Unity Party thing, because it's not the only two parties in the country. You have lots of other political parties, but it keeps coming back. And sometimes it's difficult to provide the updates, to talk about the trending issues without talking about the CDC or the Unity Party thing. And so this is where we are right now. 1 minute after former President George Weah conceded, CDC started to talk about a comeback for CDC in 2029. I mean, 1 minute after the former president conceded, George and the rest of the folks were in the different group chats. They were saying, "Oh, we're coming back 2029." I mean, so you're talking about 5 years, 364 days, and what? And 23 hours, 23 hours, and what? 59 minutes after the defeat. Just 1 minute after the defeat, the whole conversation about a CDC comeback started. And that conversation has not subsided. It's still ongoing. And there are different angles to that particular conversation. But the man who was the mayor of Monrovia, who controlled the biggest municipal government in the country, he's now the Secretary General of the CDC. Jefferson Koji is saying something. Koji is saying that he is sure, he's certain, he's optimistic that there's going to be a return of former President George Weah come 2029. And that when former President George Weah comes back in 2029, their primary goals and objectives will be to go after the corrupt UP officials. Now, maybe you didn't get me right, but he's saying that the people in this government who are quote unquote corrupt, when President George Weah becomes president in 2029, that the people they will start going after first. That the first people, the corrupt officials in the Unity Party administration. So he was telling his supporters that he's not going to continue, let's say, keep convincing people about former President George Weah coming back. He said it is already cast in stone, and maybe you should take it to the bank. I don't know if it is former Representative Akaris Gray's bank or whichever bank you want to take it to. But somebody said the bank key lost, but you can take it to the bank, you can take it to the stone, you can take it wherever you want to take it. But former Mayor Jefferson Koji is saying that the CDC will return to power in 2029. And when they come back, they will start fighting corruption with the corrupt officials that are in the Unity Party administration. And he said they'll go after those people from the ruling party who are stealing the government money, and they will bring them to justice. And they will make sure that those people who are right now, according to him, using state resources to do different things for their personal reasons, they will bring them to book. They will bring them to justice. Now, but as he's saying this, a lot of people are asking so many questions. What is the record? What is the history of the CDC when it comes to fighting corruption? Or is he just making another political statement? Or is he just saying it because he's another former opposition, or let's say an opposition leader who is out of power? He's missing that authority. He's missing being the mayor of Monrovia. He's missing being in that space where he will control men. And now he's out of that place, and he's dreaming so early and hoping that they come back to power. Does the CDC have a history of fighting corruption in the country? What he's saying right now, does it resonate with the average Liberian who is a critical thinker? Well, we're going to go into those conversations tonight. But former Mayor Jefferson Koji is saying that it's cast in stone. They will come back to power 2029. But when they come back, they will start fighting corruption with all the current officials of government in the Unity Party administration who are squandering or stealing state resources. Well, this is where we are. But even as we're talking about this, Josh, and I know you will do your opening. I know, Josh, you're going to do your opening. But even as we're talking about this, there is what appears to be a political tsunami that has hit the CDC in Nimba County. Well, the vice chair for operations of the CDC in Nimba County, by the name of Prince Yah, has resigned his position. He didn't just resign his position, but he crossed over to the Unity Party. And the reason stated by Prince Yah was personal. He's resigning his position despite being the vice chair for operations of the CDC in Nimba County. He said he was resigning for personal reasons. And as a politician, he believes that there's a realignment principle, There are points that you can align and realign and all of that. So he reflected carefully on everything that has been happening. He had some consultations, and he has arrived at a conclusion that he no longer belonged to the CDC. So he resigned. He crossed over to the Unity Party. Now, this is happening at a time when Mayor Jefferson Koji is saying that, former Mayor Koji is saying that he's optimistic of a CDC comeback. Is it a political coincidence that we're seeing a statement coming from Mayor Jefferson Koji of a comeback, but then on the sideline, you see one of the stars of the party leaving the party and crossing over to the Unity Party on the same date? But this is where we are. This is where we are. Now, just still on this update, I think, Josh, you are aware that President Joseph Yuma Boakai is in the sub-region, and he's been engaging at the West African Economic Summit in Nigeria, and he's been echoing the need for regional economic integration and growth. President Boakai delivered a compelling address at the occasion, and he was using that time to call on leaders within the sub-region to see peace as the way forward, and to be very inclusive in the developmental agenda. Even after the political activities, people go ahead, canvass and campaign and stuff like that, but that folks should be inclusive, irrespective of the political differences. That even in terms of trade in the sub-Saharan region, in the West African region, we should be more innovative. We should that the respective leaders should embark on activities that will improve the region. So he's been speaking out on a lot there today. On the sideline, the Economic Freedom Fighters, they are called the EFFL for short. Their commander-in-chief is called Emmanuel Gongwe. Emmanuel Gongwe had an engagement today. He had a press conference. He spoke out. Now, just to go back a little, most of you may be aware that this man called Emmanuel Gongwe was one of the Rescue Alliance, one of the leaders within the Rescue Alliance. Let me put it that way. Because EFFL at some point pledged support or crossed over, whichever way you want to put it, to the Unity Party. And Emmanuel Gongwe was one of those people. When you heard people going to the southeastern region to protect the vote, don't try it, we'll protect the vote. The people want to rig the election in the southeastern region. When there were reports that the CDC carried headquarters of ballot papers and all those kind of things they wanted to do in the southeastern region, Emmanuel Gongwe and his men were part of the young people who took the risk and went to the southeastern region, which happened to be the stronghold of the CDC at the time. They took the risk. But we saw Emmanuel Gongwe being appointed at the Ministry of Transport. But prior to that, there was one appointment. He resigned from one, I think it was the asset recovery team. I stand to be corrected on that. But he resigned on the asset recovery team. I think he did resign alongside Martin Colley and the other guys. So Emmanuel Gongwe had a press conference today. We'll play some clips from that as well. where um, he said he expressed frustration over everything that's happening. And he said they failed us. They failed to do what is necessary for the citizens and the general public at large. He wanted to say that we gave the Unity Party 2 years, 2 full years, and they failed to do what is necessary for the citizens and the general population of the country. Emmanuel Gongwe has been speaking out, and he's been saying a lot today. But from all indications and from the way Emmanuel Gongwe sounded, he doesn't sound like someone who is satisfied at the moment. He doesn't sound like someone who seemed to be working in alignment with the Unity Party at the moment, despite being one of those folks who was at the forefront taking his men, and they were there. And then the question remains, what's happening here? Why is Emmanuel Gongwe sounding this way? Why is he drawing the line? And what's going on? Now, Josh, if you remember, the last time Emmanuel Gongwe made a media appearance, he was talking about some of his men wanting jobs, and that some of those guys were not giving jobs. And that as he speak, at the time, there was so much pressure on him as a political leader of the EFFL, or you say commander-in-chief of the EFFL. His people wanted jobs, they were not getting jobs, and so the pressure was on him. Some of his folks were frustrated. Now, Emmanuel Gongwe is speaking out this time around, saying they've given the Unity Party 2 full years, and the Unity Party has failed to deliver. And there are questions from both sides. Some people are asking the question as to why is Emmanuel Gongwe speaking out now? Why didn't Emmanuel Gongwe speak out so many months back, maybe in the first year? There are some people attributing this to the fact that Emmanuel Gongwe, or they're trying to align this with the previous call he made with respect to jobs. And some of them are saying that Emmanuel Gongwe is saying all of these things now because he didn't get the jobs and all the other things he expected to get from the administration. Is the call a resounding one at the moment? Is it timely? Is it something that Liberians should give into? We're going to have these conversations tonight. There's a whole lot happening across the country. The private jet situation, the president came out, he spoke about it. And a lot of you followed the case ongoing with the awesome situation at the Capitol building. There are other aspects of it we're going to delve into a little, plus other issues. But I think we can get the show started at the moment. Josh, let's start the show. What's on your mind? Anthony, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight. And George, CDC Australia, the man who ran an entire office, was giving millions of dollars of the Liberian people money in the CDC Australian chapter, but no other reports so far to indicate how the Liberian people's money was spent.
Exactly.
Especially completely. So when you had the Australian
you want John the water spooner?
No, but this is the thing. You are the CDC Australian chapter head. Chairman Mora, Malu, and the folks, they gave you some good amount of money. That's how you do that. The CDC for We Are T-shirt and all the kind of stuff, but not CDC, but Australia for We Are. But Australia did not finally go back to President We Are. But anyway, Josh, do your opening. What's on your mind?
Thank you, Nelson. The good thing is that no other report has found that I did anything wrong. So the good thing is that I am not corrupt. So that's the first part. And then no Liberian people money came to me. I did not see any Liberian people money. Everything I've done for Liberia and for my party is my own contribution to the country and the group. So no money, nobody gave me any money. What I've done, or what I'm doing is.
So were you spending your own money to run your office?
Yes, of course, my office run from my home, so my home, I'm not paying rent for, for office space.
So
I
you're
get my
already at
office
home
here.
when you're
Yeah,
there.
I'm running from my house. Yeah, so no rent paid, everything else. So yeah, it was good. Guys, what's on my mind
Hmm.
is the current Ministry of Education, has canceled all Gala Day. And I
Yeah.
remember growing up, Gala Day used to be the reason why I used to go to school. I was really hard-headed, smart in school, but didn't like school. Sometimes I forgot to go to school. But those days when Gala Day coming, what I used to look, guess what? I was not fortunate to be picked among all the units that they used to be for me because probably I was shorter. You know what I mean?
As you still are.
I'm just, come on. I'm just assuming now the reason why I wasn't picked most of the time. Anytime I go on and say I want get in a special unit, they will give me steak. Then when they say the steak, they say no. You know what I mean? They can't tell me the reason. They didn't tell me the reason. But guess what? I was very hungry for that. But guess what? I still used to go Dre. And when they didn't give me the last one I did, when they didn't accept me any unit, I formed my own unit. And that unit was we can hold music on our shoulder, wear color clothes, and dance and walk with the people in the street. That was amazing. And guess what? Because of that, people used to want to go to school. Even people who are not going to school, there was a day they look forward to, to go and perform. And the parents would come by the road. I can remember my mom used to come on the road to spread her lava for me to pass. Proud moment for me, you know what I mean? And so many parents used to come, and sisters, brothers would come and
Josh,
wave.
oh, Josh, we understand the historicity.
Yeah,
I know you want to go back into how Gala Day activity, was exciting back then.
yeah.
But I mean, what's your issue with this?
Canceling it. That's why I'm trying to tell you how exciting it was. Then I'll tell you that what it will do now because it has been canceled. What will happen to people? So that's why the whole thing, the way of solving problem is first know what the problem is. You know what I mean? Then you know what the causes are. Then you deal with the causes to to remedy the problem. I think that's the whole thing. So I'm doing a methodology, I'm doing methodological order. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to make it chronological. When I say this is the problem, this is what happened, this is what happened, and this, how can we fix it? So the thing is that
You have one
there's
minute
no,
to do that.
yeah, okay, I will use in 1 minute. I mean, I think it's just genius for this government to unilaterally cancel that particular Gala Day into the Liberian people's school system. I think it's wrong. They said it was raining, so they changed the school calendar year from January to December because it will rain in June and July and all those things. So they changed the whole system. We said okay, but now they want to cut again what used to excite our young people to go to school. I think that's wrong. I think they need to reconsider
But
that decision to
Josh,
bring it back. Yeah,
Josh.
yeah.
During your time in grade school, when you were
Mhm.
very hard headed, you didn't even used to like school.
Mhm.
You go to school just 2 times in the entire week, and all of that. Did you have social media? Did you have internet at the time?
No,
Were
we
you
did not.
watching cartoons? Were you
No,
watching the cartoons? Did you have access to iPad or tablets?
no.
You know, and Josh, maybe
How
that's
does
the
how does
difference.
that change? How does that change what I'm trying to say?
Maybe
Excitement is
maybe that's the difference between what's happening now and what happened yesterday. What used to excite the generation yesterday may not be what excites the generation today. I mean, I'm just thinking, but
so
you
you are
could conclude
speculating.
with that.
You are speculating. Let me conclude. So Nelson, I feel that this is a slap in the face of many young people in Liberia who look forward to the day of rain. I can see people look. One of the proud moments when you get it out right, when you see the whole crowd roar for you, in front of sometimes in front of an administrative building or some big building. Because I grew up in Cleveland, Maryland County, so we'll go on a major street. And traffic will be stopped, and the student will come and dray, and they'll get an hour, and people will be cheering for them. This is what made school enjoyable. So the quality show, I think, is really counterproductive, and I think they need to to have a thing about it to bring that holiday back into the school system. And the next thing I want to talk about is I'm always here to educate our people, enlighten our people so that they can be misled because we used to hear President Bwaka, current president and opposition Bwaka used to say they put right BB car and they let your children to be in the street. Now children's bossing rock under his regime. to sell
Thank
it
you.
before to go to school. You didn't say anything about it. Oh, you thanking me? All right, thank you too.
Thank you, Josh. We really have to go on,
Okay.
but again, we'll take Anthony shortly, but there are just so many sides to this pirate thing. Probably we will chip in on it as time goes by. But we'll do justice to this whole debate about parade when we compare what was an excitement to the generation yesterday to what is an excitement to the generation today. Back then, I remember um, one out of maybe 20 homes will have TV. If not one out of 50 homes. You know, and we who didn't have TV, we need to go spot. So now to the video club and thing, and you're fortunate to have a next door neighbor who had a TV, and you will go sit down there to watch movies. But today, the kids operate the tablets or the iPads by themselves. They're on social media, you know, and there's just a whole lot that has changed, and there's a whole transition that's taking place from that generation to this generation and stuff like that. But Anthony, you want to do your opening, and then we can um, get into the conversations tonight.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. It's been a minute. But yeah, Nelson. I heard you talking about the president was talking about regional trade and all of the different things. Sometimes diplomacy can put people in trouble. You just have to say something because you have to say something. You understand?
Mm.
What is Liberia offering to the region right now? I mean, diplomacy sometimes will have you to say some things when you have to say. But in reality, what are we offering the region? Nelson, you're a journalist. What is this government or this administration is offering the region?
In terms of what?
Trade, business, and all of these different things, right? We were talking about Gala Day. This administration is so confused, have not found its 14 since its inception. So when they go to a meeting, when somebody think about something and bring it up, oh, this will be a good one. Oh, yeah, let's go. That's how they've been operating. There is not a clear-cut plan as to what drove you to want to be president of the Republic of Liberia. What is that thing that kept you up at night and say, if I'm given the opportunity, Liberia will never be the same. Nelson, before you pick this career, something drove you to say, I want to be a journalist. And since you came to the spotlight glare, you have held your own. You have held your own. You understand? There is something about this field that got you concerned. And you want to be a part of it. You want to have an impact. What drove this president to want to be a president of the Republic of Liberia? And since the Liberian people are giving you the opportunity, what are you doing with that opportunity? Everyone in this government, they don't even know what they're doing. Everybody trying to impress the president instead of doing the Liberian people's job. Nothing. When you want to do something to impact change, you don't look at the end result at that moment. You focus on the process. The result will speak for itself. How many times have you seen Ibrahim Traoré beating his chest? I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. It is his work that speaks for itself. What he's doing, people are seeing it and they are talking. They don't care how he came to power. Whether he came through the rightful door, not the rightful door, the people have forgotten the only thing they focus on. They have an opportunity for that country to move forward. Nobody will talk about private jet if the Liberian people are getting job opportunities. If the Liberian people can afford to buy a bakery at the end of the month, if the Liberian people can afford to send their children to school, nobody will talk about just anymore. Like I said, you can fly 15 private jet, different kind, different type. Dole had a private jet. Nobody are complaining about Dole private jet. Did you hear people complaining about Dole private jet? No. Why? And that was something that was assigned to him permanently. There were job opportunities. So what the Liberian people want is jobs opportunity. They lie to the Liberian people that elemental steel will create 6,000 jobs. That's a myth. So Nelson, until this administration put her act together, they're wasting their time. That's why they're banning Gala Day. What Gala Day have to do with anything? They talk about safety. Let's look at safety. Safety is at risk. First of all, safety is neglected in Liberia. You see people driving on the opposite side of the lane. They call it quote unquote third lane. Are those students who going to go celebrate one day
20 seconds, Anthony,
causing the safety issue in Liberia? That one day celebration that each school has to do. What is the safety risk here? You know the school is parading that day, and the driver coming around, slow down, what they call that's it. That's that one day. Not every day, every school is having it. Just for that period. So banning that, what is the essence of banning it? The reason for safety purpose. But look at the traffic. Are they controlling the traffic article? Illegal activities? No stop sign at major intersection. No stop sign. People
you
driving.
said no stop sign at major intersections?
No stop sign at major intersection. Number one, Duper Road Junction. Do you have stop sign at Duper Road Junction?
Come on, Anthony. Anthony, you haven't been in Liberia for a long time. and maybe we need a showcase. And that's something I took notice of.
Pakapin Junction, do you have a stop sign there?
Very well. So let me say this.
I was in Liberia, I didn't see it there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've been out of Liberia for a very long time. So as we speak, I must say that.
Do we have traffic lights?
And that's what I'm coming to. As we speak, there has been significant improvement at some of those intersections. And I too, even I who find myself in Liberia here, I just got to notice some of those intersections just quite recently. So take, for example, we didn't have a functional traffic light at GSA Junction, for example. You have a functional traffic light. You have a pedestrian light there. Aside from just the traffic light, regulated vehicles, there's a pedestrian light
everywhere.
I'm coming now. You didn't have one at Dupont Road Junction. Now it's there. Pedestrian light, traffic light. You didn't have one at Pakapin Junction. Now there's one there. On the entire Somalia Drive, you have functional traffic lights there. So for that aspect, we can give it up to the government. The government is doing our best in that aspect in terms of safety and all of that. The government is doing our best. I mean, that's what I can say with that. The government is doing our best. But
so Nelson,
you want to just conclude?
I was in Liberia recently. What is stop sign at Dubai Road Junction?
I'm saying that there's a functional traffic light and pedestrian light at Dupont Road Junction. You have one at GSA Road Junction. You have another one at Pakapin Junction, and some intersections and some other intersections. It hasn't been there, for the longest. And I also was shocked just some weeks ago when I saw them.
So it just got there.
Yeah, it just got there. I was surprised myself.
Yeah, because when in Liberia I met you, so at that time when I was there, it wasn't there. That's what I was just.
So it wasn't there. It was just about maybe two weeks ago when I took notice of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably it's been there more than 2 weeks, but it was about 2 weeks ago when I noticed that.
That's the fact that we're here picking and choosing intersection in a capital city in the 21st century in 2025. That speaks volume. I can pick a small city in Giglo, the western part of Ivory Coast, that is not even close to Monrovia. It have more functional traffic light than Monrovia. You understand? I'm not calling Abidjan. Monrovia is the nation's capital city, for God's sake. At the Capitol building, you don't have no CCTV camera. At driver license, people don't take a driver license test to get a driver license in Liberia. They just go and learn how to drive and get a driver license. There's no driver license administered test.
Thank you, Anthony.
Test.
And then
about safety. How can somebody be driving, operating a vehicle and don't know the road sign? Even that runabout, they have to teach people how to drive at the runabout in 2025.
We're gonna have conversations around these things, but Anthony, we have to make the most of the time we have to be here. There's a whole lot on the plate tonight.
Okay.
Let's hope we can dive into the conversations here tonight. Um, I want us to uh just go back a little. Then we're gonna come to where we are. Let's start with the recent pronouncement by the president about the private jet. You know, the fact that we're here just twice a week, I want us to go back a little, you know, make a brief analysis on those other issues before coming to where we are. Um, the president, in a recent interview with the BBC, said he uses private jet when it's necessary. He doesn't just go about using private jet all around the place because he wants to showcase, he wants to prove a point. No, he uses private jet when it is necessary. Now, there has been different views on this particular issue, the conversation around private jet. But don't you think the president was being sincere with the Liberian people here? Or did he miss the mark? Did he drop the ball? I mean, let's start the conversation from here, Josh.
Look, Nelson, you know, when Acedo says these people lied to come to power, but they cannot lie to rule or to lead this country, that's a classical example of what happened. President Bwaka used to sit on microphone when they get in microphone, then somebody can be talking in your ear, say this, say this. Then he's out to say, when I say drink water, when you finish drinking water, you better be go home, yeah. Say, yeah, you come and go home. That's the problem. He sat on microphone and said, people suffering, and President Weah riding private jet. And I don't know whether he asked President Weah, whether President Weah was using it appropriately. That means when the need existed for him to use it. President Weah never used to ride private jet to go to Lofa. President Weah used to drive there, but he came and flew private jet from wherever to go to Lofa County. This president is very deceptive when it comes to, you know, the things he does, the things he says. He does different things and he says something completely different. It's like there's no connection between what he says and what is working. You know what I mean? In his medulla oblongata, the coordination is getting poor, because if you are saying this, you should be able to do the same. That's what, you know, you should be led to do.
But listen, Josh. When the president now, then former vice president, criticized the previous administration when he said people were suffering, was it not the reality?
Now?
No. I'm coming. Before coming to where we are now, was it not the reality? Didn't we have people struggling? Weren't there a lot of people suffering? Well, Liberians not complaining about the hardship in the country.
Nelson. Even now, if you put a microphone in the market, I think you did one of the most famous interview recently in recent times, where market women were crying, market people were crying, and 99.99% of the people interviewed, they said things are harder than they were before. You hold that statistics, and I've kept your video. So if you want me to show it back to you, I can do that. But
I can show my own video back to me, Josh. Come on,
I'm trying to tell you, just so I can put you on the spot. But here's the thing, Nelson. The thing is that people are always suffering in Liberia, and in every country there will be people who lack and people who have. And in our country, where there is no private sector, where all the employment comes from government, you know that certain people who are not in government will be broke, they'll be poor, and when the government comes to power, they get money. So then the other people who are in power, they get broke again, because there is no middle class in our country. There's no company that consistently employs people and make sure that people get their benefit and everything. It doesn't
Josh,
work like that.
Where do you stand on this recent coming president? Yeah.
Say that again.
Where do you stand on this?
I think the president has been caught with his pants down, and I think he needs to apologize to the Liberian people, because he deceived them by saying that Brian Private Jack was wrong. He didn't say President Weah should not ride private jet every time. You should ride private jet when he going to Nigeria before you can ride private jet. You should not ride private jet to go to Ghana. He didn't say that. He said riding private jet was wrong.
Okay, so let's do it this way.
He said George Weah and government were buying BB cars. Today he bought $1.2 million car.
Now let's do it this way. Yesterday he said riding private jets were wrong.
Yeah.
Today he's saying he rides private jet when it's necessary. Emmy, welcome to the show. He rides private jet when it's necessary. Now, where do you stand? Is it necessary for our presidents to ride private jet? Now, I want us to drive away from a little bit from the whole conversation about the president now, what he said yesterday, and versus what he's doing today. Yes, I mean you have a point, you have an argument there, but where do we stand right now?
So here's where I stand. I think it's a good thing for our presidencies to have a private jet. I don't want my president, even Bwaka, that I don't support. I don't want President Bwaka sitting down in Ghana and I go meet to the airport and sitting down waiting for a plane. I don't want that. I want my presidents to be equipped and well respected and have an ease of travel. And again, President Bwaka's age is not in his favor, so he will be quick to get tired and quick to want to sleep, right? So people like that, you want to take them quickly to the meeting hall.
So why about former President George Weah?
President Weah is younger.
No, George. Then you're making an argument here. President Bwaka is older, so he needs private jet. You don't want to go to Ghana and see him waiting for a plane. But former President George Weah was younger, so he didn't have to use private jet.
No, Nelson, you're getting me wrong.
Get on the plane
I say his age. Nelson, what I'm saying, I say his age exacerbates the issue. I say all my presidents want them to use private jets to go to their meetings and to the various places they want to go. Because guess what? If you have a private jet, you determine when you want to go, when you want to be there. But if you want to deal with commercial jet, commercial flight, you got to wait for the schedule. When they say we'll come Wednesday, even when the meeting, when the flight I come when it's on Wednesday, even when the meeting is on Friday, you have to leave on Wednesday. And you will leave the whole country for 2 days before the meeting. So you want to hop right here, you say, okay, since from here to go to Ghana, it's like 1 hour, 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever it is. I will leave in the morning from here and I'll be there to be to the meeting. And that will be quick and efficient. And our time that he spends in the country to do our work, he does it and then move on. You know what I mean? Okay. So I'm only saying that his age exacerbates.
Do you really think President Weah would have been more productive if he had, in fact, he had a private jet.
Yeah, he used private
jet. So it's not even something we should go into. So you think with the private jet, he was more productive?
Yes, anyone will be more productive because the fact is that you will be on time. Guess what? The first productivity is to be on the job on time. That's the first.
Thank you, Josh. Let's take Anthony a bit on this one. Anthony, where do you stand with the all this?
Nelson, before the politics of everything, just like Mr. Cummings said, he's somebody who flew a lot of private jets, a lot, so he knows the difference. I will not hold President Bwaka, accountable for flying private jet. Look, there's a reason why corporate in America they have their own jets because it's efficient, it's faster, it's stress-free. You understand? All the big corporations, including Comcast that I work for, has their own private jets, right? The reason being is it is effective, it's faster, and gets the job done. If you have to
if it gets the job done, then why do you think there's been this issue about private jet in the country?
I think President Bwaka, Vice President Bwaka misspoke. He should have known better because he was a vice president. He knew what the job comes with. If it's anybody who may have understood the need and when private jet is needed, he served for 12 years as a vice president. For him to have made that statement, it was politically motivated. He was not honest. Okay.
Let's go here
for the president to go on a private jet. Now, for instance, let me give you this. There is not a direct flight from Liberia to Nigeria.
Yeah,
you have to fly to Ivory Coast or Ghana before you go to Nigeria, right?
I'm coming to that point, Anthony. So let's go here a bit. You just made a point that the former president, so the current president, then former vice president, misspoke. You think he was being political when he
He was being
criticized,
political. I mean, he
yeah,
knew the
when he
deal. If there's
criticized,
anybody who understood that role, who understood, what
yeah.
the
So
president goes through,
Anthony, let me just land on this
he
point. I'm
had the
trying,
opportunity
right?
to announce what he
You
said.
think he was being political when he said
Yes.
that it wasn't necessary. There was a waste of taxpayers' money and stuff like
Correct.
that. But Anthony, is that different from what the average politician in Liberia will say or do? Now take the private jet aside. Put the private jet bin in one side. Let
Nothing.
the private jet will put it in one
Liberia
corner.
needs to
Let's focus
Liberia
on
need to
all the
rise
other
up to
things.
the
Now, I'm coming, Anthony. I haven't landed yet. Let's put the private jet one side. Let's focus on all the other issues. For example, a politician tells you today that the government is failing because people suffering in the country. For example, a politician, an opposition politician tells you that the reason why maybe the lecturing selling in the street is because the government has failed.
Yeah.
Or the reason why the business is business, let's say the business people in the market and every place and everywhere are finding it difficult to succeed is because the government is not doing well. When opposition political leaders attribute all of the happenings, the flaws in the society to the underperformance of the government, how do we differentiate that? How is that different from what was said back then by the president now when he said there was suffering in the country and the former president did not have to use private jet?
Great question, Nelson. So yes, a difference. Today, the current hardship in the country is created by two group of people: the legislature and the executive mansion. We saw how the governors work together hand in hand just for this one permanent seat at the United Nations. We saw how almost every government agency, including ministries and the lawmaker, lobby saw as one nation for this one seat. That means they have demonstrated to the Liberian people that they know how to work together. They just chose not to work together. They know how to get the Liberian people's job done. They chose not to work for the Liberian people. Whether you're a lawmaker, whether you're a government appointee, whether you are elected in office, these people have demonstrated that they know how to get things done when they so choose to. So today, let's get back to the job creation. We can lure companies to our country to invest into the private sector, grow the private sector, create job opportunity for our people. Instead of sending our people to China or any other foreign nation for scholarship, we empower our schools and invite those professors to our school to teach, to empower more knowledge. Because that one professor can come to Liberia and impart thousands of students as opposed to 10, 15, 20, 30 students or 100 students going to that country. That one professor had the propensity of imparting 1,000 students at one institution. We need to reverse this attitude of sending people abroad and inviting those people to our country and empower our institution to grow the human capital index. Instead of let me end with this. Instead of giving, like I said, I'm in Steel right now, right? Instead of government taking all the taxes from them, in exchange, 5 years program, train X amount of Liberian in X amount of field for 5 years period. We give you X amount of money in stocks exchange. Now see, you are building the human capacity for your country. Now see, the people can come with a company and you don't have your people trained in hydraulic for them to be a hydraulic engineer. First of all, even little trade, when we invest into manufacturing, we set up our electricity stuff. You don't have to be an engineer to work on an assembly line. But that assembly line will give you a skill set that you can live with for the rest of your life. Now, see, we got to change the way we approach things.
Thank you.
Anthony, the lawmakers can do this thing.
You know, we have a jam show tonight, a lot to talk about. You know, so I just want us to be, you know, a little bit, you know, manageable when it comes to the time, so we make the most of everything we have to do here tonight. Emmy, welcome to the show. You want to just chime in on this before we transition to the next?
Yeah,
next
that's it. I sent you my hey guys. I sent you my flyer. Did you put it up? At the beginning
no.
and at the end. You see how we been sometimes you get kicked off, so you don't even know if you're in the show. So all of our followers here, they don't know that we are on Monday to Thursday on Liberal Watch News. We have a show called the Nightly Exchange. When we're not on here, I know most of you don't know, but you can find us there. Ask Lynn like well, ask Tommy, ask ask everybody else. They'll tell you we're there. For Monday to Thursday, I send my flyer to Nelson to put it up, letting you guys know. And because sometimes he get kicked off and they show don't and so I don't know if he did it or
No,
not.
no. Don't say you get kicked off. I experience technical issues at times. So
Okay.
Let her pay for the advertisement.
I encounter technical issues at times. Yeah, but I'm gonna find it. I'm not seeing it. Maybe if you resend it, then I will get it up at some point in the show. But
Yeah.
You wanna-
So about the private jet issue, I think the president now he realized that is important. And he said it. I mean, is it wrong or something wrong with people criticizing him now? No, I think it's fair game because he criticized the former president for doing that, and I can see a lot of reason why that was done. I remember my brother's George talking about when you have a private jet, you can at least leave when they did. You have to go for a program. You can leave a little bit later, and come back. Sooner, but that's not what President Weah used to do. So maybe his activity since that he used to do had people criticizing why he were riding private jets. Should President Waga leave? I mean, Weah leave Monrovia the same day in the morning to go for a program in Ghana and comes back in the evening. I don't think people would have had a problem with that. President Weah would leave like a week or two earlier and come back later when you have
so I mean, what do you think he used to be
So-
doing in that 1 week period when he left early? Like
Don't
the
put a
program,
in my mouth.
the,
I
the,
don't
the, the
know.
program is 1 week ahead, and the president leaves 1 week ahead. You think what the president used to be doing?
Amy
In that
used to get the program sheet so she know when the program was starting.
Oh yeah, of course. There's a public information. It's not a secret.
That's not all. When president
So
going abroad, they don't get to
No,
know
see,
the
can you
program
mute
they're
this
going to.
man and put
They
him
got
in the
so many
back?
things
Man,
they're
why
going
you want
to.
to
Yeah,
call
that's
Joe? We
a
are
one
need you
word.
can hold your
No, guys, you have to protect Emmy.
And John,
No.
Welcome,
You
Mr.
guys need
Arthur
to,
and Mr. Ben.
need to protect Emmy, but I want to welcome
Yeah,
Arthur.
thank you, man.
Arthur, welcome.
So
Thank you.
yeah,
Benson,
so
Benson
I
Mason,
think
welcome to the show as well. And
yeah.
it's good to have you guys on tonight. So,
So I
Emmy, you
think-
want
Yeah, let me just
Thank
say because I don't have much to say, but I think it's fair again that people criticize person Walker for staying
No.
there. If you now understand it, then kudos. Everybody's saying we should have our own private jets and stuff. And I just want to make one thing clear again. Coming from Monrovia to Lofa air testing and a private jet. It's like you catch in the testing from Monrovia. That they tested
Emmy,
something.
no,
It's not a
Emmy,
private
Emmy, you
jet
have to save us that
my
argument.
brother George
No,
is making
Emmy,
that,
sorry.
that United Air, he chapter.
Sorry to
No,
disagree
that's
with
not
you,
what it
Emmy.
was.
Sorry to disagree with you, but I think you have to save us that argument. So are we going to the other side of the argument now about private jet versus air taxi?
No.
Maybe then we'll go for air wheelbarrow,
I'm not disputing
and
that,
air
but
bicycle
George is
too.
saying, what kind of private jet we know? What jet we know go to Lofa County? What private jet that we know go to what airport? What kind of transportation we know
You need
that
to know
goes
the
to
private
Lofa?
jet.
I
You
mean,
need to know it.
in all fairness, should we even be having a debate about air taxi versus private jet, or air wheelbarrow, or air bicycle?
We should because it's not the same.
Okay, so who had the air taxi and who had the private jet?
I don't know, but I just said so it's not the same as the private jet thing that
Okay.
in the same money that George would want us to believe, and that President Walker wrote the private jet he wrote from something to Abuja is the same private jet he wrote from something to Lofa County. I
It
don't
doesn't
think that's
matter. It's still
So
private jet.
something. Yeah, it's private when you charter it. You charter test it right now. It'll be private jet.
Exactly.
That's it. So
Exactly. He could have
what you
gone on the
trying
road.
to me? But
He could have gone
anyway,
on the road.
Nelson, I don't know.
Thank
You
you.
keep letting Joshua interrupt me all day since I sat here quietly,
Y'all did this thing to me last
patiently
week. Nelson,
listening to
Nelson,
him
I beat the
talk his
man.
and he
Josh,
won't
you
let
have to,
me. He won't let me
protect.
land. But
You have to
anyway, yes,
protect
it
our
is fair
speakers.
game. It is fair game to criticize personal boycott. There's nothing wrong with that. He said something, and I think he's doing it too. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. But at the end of the
Mata,
day, no, not you yet. At the end of the day, we will know, we'll be able to establish who had the air taxi, who had the private jet, and the air wheelbarrow, everything. We'll try to establish that. But we're about transitioning to the next talking point. But I
I
think
want to put my
for,
one or two in
for
that
those of
topic.
you, yeah, I'm coming. For those of you just coming, you can take just a minute on this, and then we can transition. So mobile, you came in late, so let's take Arthur, and then we're gonna take Benson, and then we take you, mobile. Just a minute on this
Yeah,
private debate.
yeah, that's that's true. Thanks for the show. I think it's a wonderful show, especially a new breed of generation deciding on what is best for our country. I think it's a very good conversation, and I'm pleased to join this conversation tonight and hope that I can be part of the show. But the reality is, when the current president was criticizing the former president, in my mind, I do not believe that he never knew that President Tolba had a private jet. I don't want to believe that the current president never knew that a private jet was called Speedy. And the reason why Tolba called the jet Speedy because he wanted everything he's doing to be with speed. If he wants to leave from here to go to Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and come, he comes back the same day. He doesn't have to wait for any commercial plane. Where in you are Wizua or maybe the Pan Atlantic traveling, most of the airlines that were coming through that form, they were coming through Liberia. He never wanted to wait for those kinds of planes, and they would delay him. So even though at some time, he was always using private jet to speed up the process. So I think one thing I will end up with is that Liberians love sincere people. I can tell you. If you are a bad person, Liberians just want you to prove to them that you are very bad. They love you for that. For example, when Charles Taylor used to say, if, for example, your man, like the other way he used to say, that boy you go carry in the street, Liberians just gotta believe in him that he was bad, but when anything he says, it will happen, and they believe him. So Manasali King, she was not like that. Sometimes she will be. So this president must not be somebody who will say one thing yesterday, and when it comes to another day, he tries to say another thing. Liberians will not believe in his leadership. That's my view on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Mr. Benson, welcome to the show. I think you're here for the first time. What's your take on this whole private jet debate that has been going on throughout the week? And do you think that this is in any way going to affect uh, the current president politically?
Well, it's kind of easy to sit down and criticize everything. Uh, the private jet, first and foremost, is living private, means that it's personally owned by somebody.
Mm.
William Arator, but did not have a private jet. He had a presidential jet that he called Speedy One. It was Liberia's own presidential jet. It was not William Thorburn private jet. It was the country's own jet. These presidents need to buy a jet, presidential jet for the country, and stop leasing it. People, I tell you, it costs $125,000 for the jet to stay on ground in any country for 1 hour. It costs $125,000 to pay the pilot that flies that jet. I work with the airline industry, so I know what I'm talking about. Don't don't take it for granted That's a lot of money. If the country wants, let us put our bid in and buy our presidential jet that is only assigned to presidents. When you lost the seat, the jet is there for the next president. Whoever the president is will have a jet. That is sound thinking rather than hiring a private jet. For me, whether it's the president or is the former president, both of them making an error that is affecting the country. And it's not a wise decision to check up the car to go to work when your children they ain't get food to eat in the house and your rent is due. It makes no sense to say,
So
well, look, I'm the daddy of the house and I gotta go to
somebody
check
said
up car.
hunger will always be around. I mean, there will always be poor people. There will always be challenges. There will always be economic situations. And the other side of the argument has been if the presidency, or okay, let me go back to that analogy you pen out. If the father of the home will have to charter a car to be at work on time so that he doesn't lose his job, so as to keep the family moving, if you have to do that to be efficient on his job, then the father of the house should charter a taxi. Though there's no food in the home for that day, but he should charter taxi, go to work, be on time, so he doesn't maybe lost his job. What do you think about that?
The thing, the thing about it is, with that analogy I made, and with your
Mm,
explanation of talking, you realize
mm.
that the food that the children need is not dependent on it's not dependent totally that the father is going to get that day. That day he is spending the day's food money on his convenience. Yeah, you will go back to the job. You could even get to the job and get fired. Your family will still need a place to stay. So there is no certainty that what you're doing guarantees your family. There's no certainty that because you charter on airplanes will give the people in the country, will give Liberians jobs. You're not developing jobs for them. There's no job being developed. There's no work for them to go and get money. When they come back, their salary is still delayed and it's still very small, but you are living large on the people. And I don't think that's fair and I don't think that's right to the people. But again, like I always would say, there will be people who will support it, there will be people who will be against it.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Benson. We're going to hold you on that. And just take Moba quickly because we have to transition to the next talking point. Moba, just take a minute on this one.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson, and thank you to my fellow panelists and our listeners. Look, the whole private jet issue, Nelson, I think the country itself needs its own jet. And secondly, we want people won't compare doing George Weah regime using the private jet and Joseph Braga regime. There's a big difference here. Big difference here. And we're just coming because of politics sentiment. We just say because or Braga doing it today. I mean, the President Braga doing it today, and he doing it the right way because he said it yesterday. So he should have private jet. Look, when you calculate all the trips that the president makes, it's all significant. It's not something that he just go there to go marry make. It's not something you just get out today and say, you know what, today let me just go on this side, let me just go let me go have fun. The George Weah took 47 days in Qatar. We all know that. The private jet carrying and the private jet waiting there. You know how many money you pay, how many money was spent without for the summer days? Then we can compare the Joseph Braga like a go like for Eastern when they say tomorrow. When they say tomorrow, today he on in there, the next day he right back. You understand? So when we're talking about the whole project, it should all be perceived on issues.
So Moba, your argument is that the former president would take longer time to go on the trips, sometimes far ahead of the actual event, but this president is taking lesser time to attend these events.
Because the president going on national duty. Some of the things that Joey
are going on. The same national duty that former president George
national duty that you should go. Nelson, national duty that you should go 1 week before we saw it in Ghana when doing Joey regime. Joey left. He went Ghana for 1 week even before they could have That African summit,
You know,
African summit or something.
once you put
So
once you put Ghana in the conversation, now I'm stopping right there, and we
oh,
have to transition. Well,
no,
ladies and
Mama, you
gentlemen,
can't call me all of that.
you know, but
Mama, you can't call me all of that. But let me make my point.
Nobody know what you're talking about.
We giving analysis on the. We agree our country now. And I know people will politicize it, but I think we need a private jet. If we have, what did Anthony talking?
What did Anthony saying with your finger and we can hear him?
okay.
Anthony, you're
So,
on
guys,
mute. You're on mute. Anthony, you're on
sorry.
mute.
Anthony, we can hear you. Apparently you
Anthony,
received
you're on mute.
call.
Everything you said is going to breeze. That free
Yeah.
talk you talk just now.
But you got to go and come back because we can stay here.
Yeah. You got a call.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So
Let me
please,
conclude.
just
Let me conclude. So,
30
Nelson,
seconds.
for all
We have-
indication, right? For all indication, the country itself need private jet. And based on that, it will be.
And now you know.
Whosoever president that will come there will be able to do the Liberian people work through that private jet. They say they want to travel to Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone. That's fine. But if you taking private jet for longer than the time you're supposed to go for, you spend more money than the short time. You spend more money. So if you go for the 8 days, calculate for the 8 days to 2 days. Then you want to make a comparison?
Thank you.
30 seconds, please. 30
thanks a
seconds,
lot.
please.
Anything you thought I will portray you.
You know, we really have to transition, George.
30 seconds, please.
Somebody just texted me that you drinking palm wine on the show. You know, I don't know how true.
Not juice. No palm wine.
I don't even take palm from.
You know, Morba. Let me tell you, people will not know how government is run. When they come and make noise, we're supposed to sit them down and educate them. Before the president leave the country, listen to me. Let me finish. Before the president leave the country. Listen now, listen. Before the president leave the country, he will write a legislature, right? He will write a legislature and tell them that I want to go out for this amount of time.
He never
the legislature can approve it. Wait.
They say what?
No,
we are everything wrong.
Let's transition at this point.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We are well, guys. Let's transition, please. So we're at a point right now where the debate that started the very day the government was elected has continued. And as early as it seems in 2025, the conversation about 2029 has started. The initiatives, the efforts, the engagements, and everything leading to 2029 has started so early. Now, the former mayor Jefferson Koji, who happens to be the Secretary General now of the CDC. He had an engagement. He had an engagement, sorry. And I'm trying to get, all these things coming up at once. And he was saying to folks that, number one, he's certain, he's very sure, he's very optimistic of a CDC comeback in 2029. So he said that one part in that part of it. I mean, that's something he's very sure of, and he doesn't even want to waste energy to talk about. But he went on to say that when they come back in 2029, they are going to start the fight against corruption at a whole different level. Now, okay, so you go back a little. When this government took over, there were calls for this government to audit the previous administration, former President Ellen Johnson's relief administration, which was not the case. At the very early stage of this government, there were claims and counterclaims about how much the government left in power in coffers. Some people say no money was there. Other people say money was there. Former President Ellie Johnson said, anybody think that she didn't leave money there, they must take her to court. And so he was saying that when they come back in 2029, they are going to start the fight against corruption with the very corrupt officials that are in government right now. The Unity Party, quote unquote, corrupt officials of government are the ones that they will start taking to jail and making sure that they prosecute so that they set deterrents. Now, and this brings us to a question as to the possibility of this whole CDC taking up the fight against corruption if they were to come back. Does CDC even have the strength, the energy, the political influence to make a comeback? Is it even necessary for the CDC, that is the immediate past administration, to start talking about comeback as early as 2025? The debate now from Mayor Jefferson Koji that, look, Unity Party has lots of corrupt official government and will come in 2029 that they're the one will start with. I want us to make some analysis around this. Does the CDC have a history of fighting corruption?
You pack all the kettle black.
Does the CDC mean it when the CDC say they will start fighting corruption with the ex-officials of government? If that happens, is there going to be a payback time? Are we going to hear anything different from the witch hunt, conversation we've been having around here? I mean, let's take a minute, just a minute on this one as we transition to our next talking point. Maybe we can start with you on this one, Anthony.
Thank you, Nelson. I don't think Liberia is a binary country. I don't think Liberia only has CDC and UP. These two political parties have demonstrated they are not there in the interest of the Liberian people. What CDC going to do will be revenging against UP if they should have access to power again. And what UP
do you
is
think the CDC can have access to power again? Let's start from there.
Well, so I'm from Liberia, and I can tell you for a fact the way politics is played in Liberia, it's not about substance, it's not about ideology, it's not about the messaging.
Anthony,
it's about something.
Don't tell me about Mr. Cummings get the substance, he has the messaging, he has the propensity, he has the this, and the Liberian people will not go for him, but they will go for CDC or the party.
Other than any other political party in Liberia, Mr. Cummings outlined his plan, clear cut to the Liberian people, the what's and the how, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, to the point that he offered $20 million United States dollars.
Anthony, are you really doing this to us?
Are
you really using this conversation to sell Mr. Cummings' agenda?
No, the reality have to be told to the Liberian people. Now, see, people did not vote George Weah into office because George Weah was a competent leader who would have changed Liberia based on ideology. George Weah came to prominence because he's very popular. That is the reality. Joseph Yuma Boaka did not win the election because he has a message to transform Liberia. He came to the presidency because many people thought he have served as a vice president for 12 years and he have worked in government for decades. So, quote unquote, he have the regimen, what it takes to move the country forward. We have argued that he have no fresh idea. He had demonstrated that sense. He continued to operate that sense. You continue to show. Look, Nelson, this administration have no clear-cut plan as to how to move the country forward.
Okay. So let's go to the CDC on the flip side.
On the flip side, the CDC, a vibrant, young, youthful political party with a younger president compared to Boakai. They were very complacent. They thought they had it together. Matter of fact, in the second round, they didn't even campaign the way they're supposed to have campaigned. But yet, with everything that the opposition did for 6 years, look at the margin between George Weah and now President Boakai. That should tell you something.
So where do you
about the
stand
way
here on this
the electoral
conversation?
process goes in Nigeria.
So what's your point here?
My point here is that UP failed Liberia for 12 years. CDC also failed Liberia for 6 years. That's 18 years of your time, Liberian people. UP is also failing now. They already started failing. We've seen it. 1 year, 6 months, and they still have not found their footing. That is clear cut. UP cannot beat their chest of one single
but when
Jefferson Koji says, they try
when Koji
at the
says,
same time.
yeah, Anthony, when Koji
But they
says,
have not found their
when
footing.
Koji says they're going to fight corruption robustly, and they are going to start this fight with ex-officials, the corrupt officials.
But Jefferson Koji is he on the sanction list?
He's on
was
the
he
sanction.
sanctioned?
You know that.
Good. First of all, when people talk about they're going to fight corruption, did the Liberian people have forgotten CDC so quick that they have not remember what transpired in the last 6 years with CDC? This is why I said Liberia, it's not a binary country where if it's not A, if it's not 0, it's 1. That if it's not UP, it's CDC. There are other Liberians who are capable of running the country. Other political parties that are capable of running the country. So Liberia need a third option.
Who is the third option? Who is the third option?
The ANC is the third option.
How can you be third option with 1%? Look, Anthony, please don't do this to us, Anthony. Anthony, how can you be a third option with 1%?
Let me say this to you. Okay, Nelson, let me say this to you.
No, but you left from 7% to 1%.
You have a point. You have a point. But we still have 5 years to go. We still have 5 years to go. Nelson, the mistake that we
in
did.
the 1 year, 6 months that has gone, what did you do in the 1 year, 6 months?
Thank you. Oh man, you're a good journalist. That's what I like you.
Okay, we're gonna come back to you.
No, let me answer that question.
We're gonna come back to you, Anthony. Josh, you want to come in on this one?
Oh, but maybe ask your question. Then you run the wheel. That's not fair.
We can hear you.
I mean, just say test the mic. Test the mic. When we hear, we will tell you. So, gentlemen, look. I've not listened to Honorable Koji.
If you call me mayor one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have not listened to the former mayor. But look, if people are saying that have they forgotten CDC in the past 6 years, then it baffles me. Because if CDC have committed any crime, if there were criminals in CDC who committed outrageous crimes against the economy or against the Liberian people or anything, people say Jefferson Koji kill people, he kill people, he kill people. The people not get family people. Nobody can also to say that they nobody clean, nobody, nothing, but they say Jefferson Koji kill people. They sanction him because Jefferson Koji get Malaysia was killing people. We ain't see the people he kill, you not see anything, but then people are telling us now who are in power, who get the power to say, okay, these are the people you killed, these are the relatives, these are the photographs, these are the evidence, we're going to put you in jail. They didn't get it. They didn't get it, but all they are telling you, Jefferson Koji on sanction. It doesn't make any sense. But that tells you that this government, they're only saying those things, just like Bwaka was saying that Brian Private Jet and Ryan BB car was bad, and he come and he buying $1.2 million car and he flying the same private jet, even locally in the country. That's the whole thing. So everything was just political. These guys wanted to come to power. They're so desperate to come to power, so they could say anything to Liberian people just to get it by Liberian people ears. And in that country, as soon as you say the person in that role, everybody believe you. No, they need evidence. They need anything. As soon as you say, so what I'm saying, yeah.
First of all, do you think the CDC can make a comeback?
Definitely, 100%. And guess what? It's happening even sooner than we anticipated, the CDC. Because guess what? Because this government is failing. I said the only way CDC will not come to power. And guess what? I am not even anxious for CDC to come to power.
Because
if President Bwaka in this government if President Bwaka and this government can do better than the CDC, I don't want CDC back. But guess what? President Bwaka is inviting CDC back. That's what's happening. Because he's not doing anything. Look what he's doing. He's apologizing about everything that he criticized. He's doing exactly that. That tells you that President Weah was right all along, and this man only because he read the quote on his TV, former president. That's all.
So when Jefferson Koji talks about fighting corruption, what does it say to you? What sort of message does it send to you? Does the CDC
It
have a
says,
history of fighting corruption, especially when he starts to point fingers to the UP administration and saying that there are some corrupt officials in the Unity Party, and when they come back in 2029, these are the people they're going to start the fight against corruption with?
in essence, what Jefferson Koji is telling you that you are not listening to. I always, as an educated person, I always listen to what people don't say when they are talking to me. I always listen to what you are not saying. Jefferson Koji is saying that if you see a corrupt, can't investigate me and can't prosecute me. The same thing, how they call it, you say, how they call it, Semetua was corrupt, that he stole it.
We need
They
2
are
times euro.
what? Okay,
Go-
Amy,
go- yeah.
you smart. You mute yourself. That's good. Because I'm coming to mute you just now. I get a button here. So the thing is that Nelson, the thing is, the coach is telling you that you say I'm corrupt. Come and investigate me, but I know that you are corrupt. And when we come, we'll go after you for your corruption. So he's telling you that when may you vet now, and you say Jefferson Koji is corrupt, and he's talking about corruption, go after Jefferson Koji. The people you say he killed, go and bring them so they can go to court. Because guess what? Murder is a capital crime. It ain't get any expiry date. Anytime, y'all can bring it back. So Jefferson Koji is telling you, look, if I were President Bwaka, by this time I finished prosecuting Semetua, he behind bar, or Jefferson Koji behind bar. All the CDC people that said were criminals, they behind bar by this time. But nothing since they came to power 2 years now, they have not successfully prosecuted any CDC government. That means CDC was not corrupt, but they were just doing it lying just to come to power. That's what they did. And now they are in power, now they are happy. They are not going for anybody. Semetua is running behind. They can't prosecute me. They say, no, we're looking for evidence.
Are you ready to Semetua is running behind them to prosecute?
Yes. Semetua went to court and said, come and prosecute me. They said they were looking for evidence.
Yeah, George may get dry face. Let's move.
That's what they said. They're not prosecuting him. He's in the country. They said they want to extradite him. They said they want to send for Interpol to get him.
You're going to have
They said they want Interpol to go and get Semetua. Semetua said, no, you're relying. You don't got to spend that money. La bread need that money. You don't got to pay people to come for me. I will come. I will pay my own way.
I hope you know how long it took for Semetua to come back to the country.
Oh, but he had to prepare himself because you're not looking forward to being.
No, why he didn't come the same time they had to put wanted all around
he
for
him? Now he paying the money 1 year. What are you doing?
Anyway, I thought you can go ahead. Let's hear your take on this one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the show. The reality is, you have a government that was elected based on 1%. And when we talk about the TER force, majority of those people that we're thinking of to come and establish the TER force between the Unity Party and the CDC, they were one way or the other supporting either the Unity Party or the CDC in the second round. You know, if you look at the Tewon Gonglo, the data of the Cummings and other political leaders, you realize that they were part of one of those forces that are now managing the country, either the opposition or the ruling party. I can tell you, I think Spoon has been doing a lot of wonderful work around the country. If you take a microphone around today in all the county capitals, and he asks if election is held today between the Unity Party and the CDC and the TER force, who will win? It will be the CDC for just few reasons. One, when the CDC came to power, one thing that the former president did not do was that when he's doing certain things that is good for him, if Liberian people criticizing it, he will not just leave it and say, because Liberian people are criticizing it, so I will not do it. Today, you see, the Unity Party comes to power, they're dancing on the music that they love. The former president was dancing. All right. It's just that the current president cannot sing, but if he will go sing. So look, if we look at it today, if election is held, automatically CDC is coming back to power. No if and end about that. And what the former mayor was saying, and I can say this.
What are the indicators you're using here?
Just the last election results. What do you think? You think all the people that voted for CDC, they almost 49% of the voters that voted in 2023. You think all of them died?
Okay, so
people will not vote for Unity Party.
Let's do something here as we make the analysis on the CDC come back or not come back. And we're gonna take Mr. Benson and Mason next. But let's do this. What's the position of CDC in 2023?
The
let's
position of
compare.
CDC.
No. Let me. I'm trying to just learn on this before I hand it over to you. What's the position of CDC in
Ruling
2020?
party.
And what's the position of CDC in 2017? And maybe you want to go back to what was the position of CDC in 2011? In 2005, CDC was a green horn on the block, a brand new political party with a famous, very famous political leader, soccer star, superstar, work football legend, and you need the rest. But no capital. And you know that what makes the game work for you is the capital you come to the game with. It's part of it as well. Okay, 2011, no capital, but again, still a famous political party, major opposition political party. And maybe we want to go back to the margins during those various elections, which I don't have before me here now. What was the margin in 2005? What was the margin in 2011? And then we'll go to what was the margin in 2017? The CDC versus the Unity Party, two major contenders. And then the CDC, after assuming power for 6 years, empowered herself politically, financially, was in charge of state covers. In 2023 general and presidential election, controlling the state covers, basically in charge of the NEC, all the major institutions in the country, did everything she could, politically, financially, and everything. And then you got the margin that you saw in the 2023 election, 1% margin as a ruling party. Now, going to 2029, what do we expect to see, Mr. Arthur? I mean, you want to take those factors into consideration, especially from 2023 ruling party and then 2029 when it will be an opposition political party.
Let me just say this to you. One thing that you are not understanding is that if a populist candidate like the former president was able to win 61% in the second round in 2017, and the current president was at 38% of that vote, almost like you're talking about 23% different. But a populist leader, the economy can give him tough time to shrink his vote from 23% down to him being battling with just 1%. What more about an aging president who will be going to election in 2029 with that same populist leader who won in 2017 with 23% of that vote, and then the economy is giving this current president a lot of tough time? Do you believe that the 21% before will not join the less than 1% to make it 25 to even 30%? I can say that I will end up with this. If election is held today, the data is clear. CDC is going to win. CDC, the poor people, especially some of the government policies against the poor people, breaking down people's homes with legal things that are happening some 30 to 40 years ago in the street. Motorbike riders who looking for ends meet, no company coming and they're chasing them out of the street. Because of that, some of the economic issues in the communities here today, all the clubs, no nightlife. 8 or 9 hours running the whole country, no way for anybody to generate any money in the night. I would say this. Let me end up what the former mayor said. It would be like what Margaret said, the hit that hit produced. If any government official is listening to me tonight, the hit that hit produced. 2017, when the former government took over, they had to prosecute a few people, but they were thinking about focusing on the economy, solving some other problems. But this government now thinking about going after government officials, bringing down CDC, destroying the party, and doing whatsoever. Then that government now comes to power to attack a unity party to bring it down. And some of the leading, especially young people, will be prosecuted.
and they will be prosecuted, and Liberia will be clapping for them. And anybody want to jump in the street, they'll say CDC was a lawyer opposition. You too become a lawyer opposition. I think I will end up with that.
Thank you.
Don't demonstrate.
And I think you did justice to the conversation tonight. And we're going to take Benson next. But it's very important to state that with respect to the numbers that you made mention of. Yes, and you're right on this one. In 2017, the margin between the Unity Party and the CDC was 10%. 10%. That was during the first round. 10%. And I will try to pull up the what came up during the second round, but the first one was 10%. And if you come to 2023, in 2023, the margin during the first round was less than 3%. The margin during the first round in 2017 was 10%. But the gap narrowed in 2023. So what are we talking about here? What should we be taking into consideration here as this conversation is now, developing? But let's take you on this one, Benson. Let's hear your take on this one, sir.
Thank you, Nelson. Fellow panelists, it's kind of easy to look at the data and draw conclusions. One, when you look at the data, you see that 2023 opposed to 2027, if I stick with after data, 2023 was 2017 was 23%, but 2017, they lost by 1%. If you can lose 23% in 6 years, if you can lose 23% in 6 years when you were the ruling authority, where you could display what you had to give to the people, how then can you say that you will win that same 23% 2029 when you have nothing to demonstrate? It's kind of funny, but that's data. Data means what you got, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. You got 23. I mean, that's what you after. That was for your 23%. I didn't pick this data off the air. Now, it's funny when I would be very surprised if Liberians vote CDC back into seat 2029. I would be very, very surprised. And that would tell me a whole lot. Because CDC got really nothing to show besides lifestyle. If you do a lifestyle audit of all CDC top people, you will find out that their lifestyle and their income will not match up. It will not match up. Their income, their lifestyle surpass their income. So how can you say? But I love what God says.
When you say their lifestyle surpass their income,
Nelson, we can see Benson's face, man. So let him bring some light.
No. I know you.
I want to see one. See the man, bro. I want to kick a crazy boom. So I want to see you Google. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you some light. My line I got is a little bit wrong.
You good. Forget Josh. You good. Josh doesn't like your analysis, so he's trying to distract you. I mean, good. We can manage with that.
Okay.
But
so you see, go ahead, Nelson.
So I want to suggest you are making some very good points with respect to the margins and the CDC that had access to the state covers and what she got versus the CDC that didn't have access to state covers, what she got in 2017. The gap was being narrowed somewhere here. And how did it happen? Maybe that's something we need to make further analysis around. But do you see this come back as something that's possible. And if that happens, with the fight against corruption that Mayor Jefferson Koji or former Mayor Koji is talking about here, is it going to be a reality? Or is it part of the political pronouncements or conversations leading to 2029? Emmanuel Zaza, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you for
Now,
having me.
Okay.
if fellow panelists, if we all can think back before 2017, the CDC told us they were going to fight corruption. They came in with a slogan that they were going to go behind Ellen family, they were going to go behind the Neverton, they were going to go behind everybody who was corrupt in Ellen's government. That was CDC's slogan to us. When they took over 2017, the only time they threatened was a toothless bulldog. They didn't do nothing to nobody. I always say this to people: do not be afraid to be the what we call it, the witch hunter. When they say, "Oh, that witch hunt," don't be afraid to be the witch hunter if you want to be if you want to lead the government. Witch eat our babies. Eat the witch. Kill a witch first before you eat the baby. Don't let the witch eat the baby. Then you say, "Okay, somebody else will go kill it." No. If these are corrupt people, go after them. That's the reason Joseph Baka is lost in this run with this leader now. Nobody is running behind nobody for corruption. Everybody is living a corruption-free life. And it's taking. George Weah did the same thing when he was president. Let everybody see, nobody bother them. It is time for a leader. For me, people don't want Benedict Cummings, fine. You got Tiamo Gonglo. He's another good person. Why you can't put him there? No way this CDC will not come back. Jefferson Koji can stand up and say, look, it's written in soon.
Amen.
It was written in March 2023. 2023 said it was written in soon. CDC was going to win. CDC, they didn't win 2023. Oh, I forgot that March. A lot of CDC people don't know the difference between March and soon. The same way they are taking to the bank, we're taking the other one to the bank. I will say it to you, Nelson, on this forum. CDC will not. CDC headed by George Weah will not extend to the seat in 2029. There's a lot pack up that group. There is pack up against them. And they cannot make it. They will, that group will not.
Thanks a lot for your input.
When CDC was in power, George used to come on the show with him.
But but something happened. I don't know how many of you noticed that. Something happened when Mr. Benson was concluding his analysis, and he said CDC would never come back. I saw George face shrunk in, and George put on a very sorrowful look not too long. I don't know if I'm the only person who noticed that, but anyway, at the end of the day, the conversation has to move on. Emmy, you want to come in with your thoughts on this? I see Moba is okay. We lost Moba. We're gonna get him back.
So
we'll take Emmanuel next.
Thank you, Nelson. First of all, let me make my announcement again before the show goes on. We are on Liberia Watch News from Monday through Thursday. Just go on YouTube, you'll find it's called the Nightly Exchange. We are not here Monday to Thursday. We're on Liberia Watch News. So go there and find us just in case you're looking for us. I know you've been looking for us. It's the same crew there, except Mr. Arthur just added on us. But yeah, Nelson, I think Mr. Benson put it right. People like to make this whole CDC thing look like it's some kind of budget at casting stone or whatever, Liberians vote that they got in a bag that is stored there for them, right? It cannot be removed. First of all, CDC had a vote they had in 2023 because they were what? Ruling party. They did a whole lot of illegal stuff that we all know and we seen. Still,
you got proof.
I got videos that I seen. Okay, so
can you prove the illegality?
There was a generic vote that people just automatically. They even go see in some of the places that have 500% vote and registered to vote. They had 1,500 votes for them. Who does that? Grand Crew. Abachia Town. I know y'all remember that. So y'all just can say here and act like you don't even know. CDC, Liberian people had never tested CDC to 2025, 2017, or whatever. So they voted for that. And even when they won in 2017, it wasn't just CDC that won our election. Granted, all of the CDC, we actually will vote for Josh Weir. Is that enough for him to win election? I don't think so. What about the other party that added on him? They know who Weir is now. People that Jefferson Kochi stand somewhere and talk about to prosecute somebody for corruption. Like the pot calling the kettle black. And then judge stand up and say, oh, if they say I'm a corrupt, why they're not coming for me? The kids that they are doing right now, what are y'all doing? All in the street. Oh, why they're not going for majority black? Why they just coming for CD shit? Why they don't even know how prosecution work. Y'all, the moment they start going after them, and I don't think that Mr. Benson said that shouldn't be the reason why the government should stop investigating. But the moment they start, or the moment they put that, they had that announcement out there. All of y'all were running around here like the Sasha Wu King coming to town. Oh, that which one? Oh, that this one? Oh, that this. Why didn't y'all stand there? Because you didn't do anything. You're supposed to encourage it and call for it. You know you never did anything. Instead, oh, you gotta go back to a year first. Why are you sending somebody back if you never did anything? I would be
Emmy, let's face this issue as it is. Now, in most cases, people commit crime, they take them to court, and once they're brought down guilty, they serve their sentence, they go to jail.
Right.
That place is not just a jail, but it's a correction facility. Mm-hmm. You go there after some time. It's expected that when you come back, you're a better person. You've learned your lessons, and you do better. Now, don't you think in this case where CDC was in power, CDC experienced what it means to control? I mean, more like serve your country. CDC left power. Don't you think this is a learning process, a learning curve that when the CDC is given another opportunity to come back, that Mayor Jefferson Koji, for example, they're going to be going after those quote-unquote corrupt officials of this government, making sure that they can prosecute them, making sure that they can live up to the expectation of the Liberian people so they don't get voted out of power like what we saw in 2023. Don't you think the CDC has learned enough?
No,
Party headquarters is in Jubo. There's a whole conversation around that. The hula balu and the puhaha going on there. And this is where we are.
Now, saying if CDC would have learned that lesson, if they would have learned anything at all, they'll be apologetic for what they did to the Liberian people for the past 6 years. Instead of lying to their teeth and a circus passing around like they had a booming economy, everything was rosy. President Weir was doing so tremendously, like he was doing so much good for the Liberian people. Everybody was enjoying, but they were riding Jeep, Prada Jeep, but the United Party supporter like Kim said that GB in that all people don't know, that all we don't know. So they agree, oh yeah, that all we let me vote for Joe Walker. They have not learned a license, because if they did, Nelson, Liberia needs to move forward. Okay, Liberia is not yeah, you do me, I do you. No. United Party came, they're supposed to prosecute, they're not doing it. We still saying that because I want some of us supported them for. And if they don't do it, we're starting to prosecute them on this show then pretty soon. But they came now, they want to come back. They want to come back now to start going after United Party too. When do we build Liberia? When do we start looking after the innocent people?
Are you agreeing with Anthony here? Are you agreeing with Anthony here?
You can chew and walk at the same time.
Are you agreeing with Anthony that both the CDC and the Unity Party, maybe come 2029, that Liberians should be looking for a third option?
If President Boyka does not deliver, yes, I do agree with a third option. Liberia is not just between United Party and CDC. They both, if President Boyka, they both fail the country. Why should we be playing ping pong between United Party and CDC? What you were saying somebody killed? You talking about you put in jail? Then he said, oh, then another person come. They killed 2 persons. Or they killed. Then he said, oh, so that other one just killed one. You just go back to him. When you got all the people that haven't committed murder, you will say, oh, let's just go back to the one that committed one murder.
Let's get 20 seconds to learn, so we bring Emmanuel in, I mean.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So the CDC has not done anything. All they want to come back to do is to what? Revenge. Now we all seen, we live in America, yeah. We seen what Trump is doing. We seen what re-electing somebody with a heart full of
forget America thing.
That's not something. We all seeing that right now. And as Liberian people like Mr. Benson said, 10 drunk to say they vote CDC ever again, they will regret it in the says yeah they regret it on that one. It will be past mark. They will regret it. And people are talking about the country is suffering now because you removing backgrounders, you breaking up people's homes. People are telling me, they're telling me that it's okay to live in a lawless country. When you're trying to put, but everybody wants Liberia to be better. Everybody wants Liberia to move forward. But when you're doing what is supposed to be done for that to happen, you think development is everybody will be sitting around the table drinking bread and butter, tea and whatever. No, it takes some pain for the right thing to be done. You can't come and say, oh, people are in the street. When car lost control, everybody dying. But because they put the food on people's table, let's just leave them there. Oh, motorbike rider, the crime rate or something. Oh, but because they put the food on our table, let's just leave them there. Come on now, we cannot run a country like that. Saying that government, everything is bread and butter. But if there's something to make the country better, no, you're not clear. They should do it. It shouldn't be a reason why they should bring CDC that destroy the country for the 6 years. That's why the government is suffering in the first place, like putting together. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Just to break the ice a bit. Blessings and blessed. JB is not even pregnant before he would deliver. It's so interesting how the comment section is a whole community all by itself. The people have a way of building the ice and breaking the ice. But I mean, it's a very important conversation here.
That's true, Jamie. That's pregnant.
So let's hear from Emmanuel. Then we're going to bring Mobile on. Emmanuel, what's your take on this? I don't know if you've been following the conversation, but the former mayor, the Secretary General, not just anybody, but a stalwart of the CDC, the Secretary General. He says, coming back in 2029 is casting stone. He's not even talking about that. But when they return by 2029, they will fight corruption fearlessly. And they will start with all the quote-unquote corrupt people that in the government that are spending state resources on a personal thing. They're going to make sure that they will be made to account and that they will be prosecuted. And now the question is, does the CDC have a history of fighting corruption? Is the CDC capable of making a comeback? Is this something that Liberians should buy into, or is this part of the regular political conversation that will come from politicians, especially as we moving on gradually or slowly towards 2029? Do you believe that the CDC can fight corruption? Can the CDC make a comeback? What's your analysis around this, Emmanuel?
Thank you so much, Nelson. This is my first time since 2023 November.
Imagine that.
When I came on the show, and that night, Mova said, Unity Party built the correction palace in Zedru, and I said no. And it began. I came out that night and said, if you elect Joseph Boakai or Josh Weah, it's not going to make a difference. Like, we're going to still be the same. People instead of me, you must say, oh yeah, she said, I can't compare Josh Weah and Joseph Boakai, but the same story we've been talking about the past 6 years.
And I still believe that.
I agree. The same story we told from 2018. The same story we told until we are time ended. It's the same story we want today. Comparing CDC and Joe, CDC and Unity Party throughout. We are not comparing differences to say, see Labrador today, see Ghana, see Nigeria. We are only saying, look at Unity Party, look at CDC. The same thing I'm saying, you got angry at me, is happening right now. Let me bring you back to something.
So 2 years later, you are back. 2 years later.
2 years, I'm back. And I just here to let you know that what I said, that if you elect Joseph Boakai or you elect Josh Weah, Labrador is not going to make a difference. We've seen it for ourselves. The same way police were being used by party to brutalize opposition. Today we're seeing the same thing. Police are being used by party today again to brutalize opposition. Nothing has changed. We all sat here and still talking about Joseph Boka. Somebody analyzing what happened in 2017 to what will happen in 2029. But you forgot to know that Joseph Boka was a ruling party man who sat there for 12 years as vice president. But you were also defeated as a sitting vice president. But you want us to believe that a sitting president being defeated in 2023 cannot defeat another sitting president in 2029. That analysis doesn't work. Let me make this clear to you. Ruling parties always campaign for the opposition. And that's why opposition always becomes strong when they are in opposition. When the party was in government, they were not popular. But when they got in opposition, they became popular and they came back. You saw it. So when CDC come back, yes. How? It depends on how Joseph Boka going to run his government. If the team citizens are not Liberia and they continue to marginalize them,
Emmanuel,
then they campaigning for CDC.
Emmanuel, we read it. Are you using a Bluetooth?
Oh, I should take it out? Okay, hold on.
Can you disconnect it? Yeah, I think.
Can you hear me clear now?
Oh, very well.
Am I clear now?
Very well. Yeah, go ahead now.
Okay. So, like I was saying, the ruling parties are the one who always campaign for the opposition, and that's why ruling party most time become unpopular. How? Joseph Boka, before President Boka became president, there are a lot of things he said. In the next 3 months, children will not be in the street selling. You will not see all riding private jet. We prefer motorbike or cycle or wheelbarrow than getting a car. We prefer this, we prefer that. Somebody tell me today what is actually happening. Are we not still seeing children in the street today? Are children not still selling? Is Joseph Boka still wearing wheelbarrow or you wearing $1.something million car? Is he not flying private jet? So if you say all of these things, then you are campaigning for the opposition. The opposition say, "Well, Toyo, the people are not better than us." They say, "Yeah, that's true. We'll bring you back." It's a regret that after 20 years after our war, we may have two parties in Labrador that are controlling the narrative. So we can kind of talk against CDC, talk against United Party.
But
It is the
what do you think is the way forward, Emmanuel? What do you think? And I like the part where you said, after 20 years, we have two political parties that are still driving the narratives politically. What do you think is the way forward? When all the people who come in second and third, they're not even reaching 10%. So at least a lot of people are looking at Mr. Cummings, they say, "Oh yeah, this man got 7%, and this next election, if he gets 20% or maybe even 15%, then it means that he's someone we're looking up to gradually. We're seeing a third option. But the third option dropped to fourth or fifth or sixth option from 7% to 1%. What is the way forward here, Emmanuel?
Okay, for me, in my opinion, which I think people may not take, but in my opinion, if we want to change the narrative, those who want to take over Liberia should join CDC or United Party. When they take over the power after they become leaders, they can change the narrative. But you can't force CDC, you can't force United Party in our country. I do not support them. But I can tell you this: go up, you can't down. As long as you still have you have Joseph Boka and George, nobody going to be president in Labrador.
No, but
unless they are not qualified to take part in the election. But as long as they still stand a chance to go on a ballot, nobody in United Party can win Joseph Boka. Nobody in CDC can win George. And as long as you cannot win George from the ballot, you cannot win CDC. As long as you cannot win Joseph Boka from the United Party, you cannot win United Party. So the only difference, if Kumi wants to be president, is to have a collaboration with George Weah. Apologize to either be standard bearer for that particular collaboration or whatever the case may be that he will take over. You want to do the same in United Party, join them. But you say you have Tyrone Gonglo, those people had the profile to be president. They had the profile to change their narrative. But are they going to change Liberians' mind to vote for them? That's where the point is. So the only way you can change Liberia is join CDC. When you become president, then you can change the narrative. That's my opinion.
Oh, so you're proposing a political betrayal here as the way forward. Yeah, you are proposing a political.
No, do that. What is my political betrayal?
Do you really think, Emmanuel? Do you really think kind of Liberia we have, the kind of CDC that we get, kind of Unity Party that we get, the strong, high-headed and garant many that all the party in it? You really think you use a people party? you become president, then after 1 month you say you're not part of that party again, and you have peace as a leader. You think so?
I'm not saying you don't have to say I'm not part of the party, but let me give you scenarios. When Ellen came, she came with plenty of people. After Ellen won, the people broke away from her because they were not carrying the same idea that she told them she was going to be. When that king, he took over. After a few years, the very people brought we had to start running away from him because you were not carrying the same idea that you told them you were going to carry. Today, people brought Joseph Boca are running away from him because the very thing he told them, he's not doing it. So you can tell people you become the president and you change the narrative the way you want the country to run. You don't have to run the CDC way. Then every time people getting away to. You can change the away to with something else. You can change the Sycamore tree to something else. You can change that go in the party no. I go take one, take all. What you say the winner takes all. You change that narrative. There's a way you can do it. In America, they got two parties. Not everybody agree with Democrat, not everybody agree with Republican. But guess what? The fact that they want to change things in the country, they must go with one of those parties to change things. They think Trump didn't what Republican wants, but because he's the president of the Republican Party, they're forced to live with it. So until we come to that point where people say, even though we don't want Nelson, I mean, even though I don't like Nelson, but not through Nelson, I can pass to become president. If Kumi had done that, if you are going to agree to say, I'll be, or even he himself can propose to the man, let you all go. If they agree to go that way, but this time Kumi is somewhere. If you're not listening to Joseph Boakai, or you're not listening to Joy we can talk for another judgment date. Like, bro, the way looking because this will not change, Unity Party will not change. It has to take a different person outside of Unity Party to change the narrative in Unity Party. You have to take a different person outside of CDC to change the narrative in CDC. If you deny it, continue. I told you yesterday that CDC and Unity Party, if either of them are being elected, we'll see story we'll have it. And we'll still talking today. And on private jail story, we can't from behind people defending it, people opposing it. We'll in from now to the end of the world.
So what I'm getting from you are saying here
that's how I wanted to find out. I just wanted to give a suggestion on that, but anyway,
we are about to do the final rounds. Okay, Mora is here to make his point. But what I'm getting from you is that the way forward to break that cycle of CDC Unity Party is what you just proposed. And what I'm also gathering from your analysis is that Mr. Cummings had the perfect opportunity to do that, but he missed out on it. Is that what I'm getting from you?
One way or the other, yes. And the reason I'm saying one way or the other is that a vice president cannot campaign for his space. He has to be the president to bring you on board. But you have to prove to the president that you're willing to work with the president for them to take you as a vice president. Mm-hmm. You can't be standing tall over the man and you're saying, to take you as a vice president. No, not take you. So they were working together, but the president, President Boakai, and his people understood that if Kumi had been welcome as a vice president, he was going to overshadow Mr. Boakai, or if you're going to fight and how do we call it? You're going to you're going to like, should we say bye or maybe or one way or the other overshadow him. So they didn't allow him to go through. So until we come to the point where we take the CDC and Unity Party, we cannot vote against them. We might vote against them, but the people in Labrador will not vote against them.
Don't you think the current vice president can break that cycle?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Look at the record. He was representative. What did he do as a representative? He served the same way all the other representatives were serving. You are not extra. He became senator. He served the same way as all the other senators say. You are not extra. He lived the Liberia. He ate the Liberia. He slept the Liberia, and he's still living the Liberia today.
Thank you, Sasa. Let me hold you there. Let's take more back. Guys, I really wanted us to go on the other talking points, but it seemed
stop asking questions.
Yeah, it seemed time. But it's important for the conversation. But so after this round, we're gonna do the final round, which will be our closing.
We're doing my Broad Watch News.
Yeah.
Come and see the come here the last topic on Monday.
Yeah.
So so we will Mobile, you want to end before?
Yeah, but you're talking again. I want you to learn first before.
Okay, so just conclude on this one.
Yeah. Thank you, Nelson. Look, I listen to some part of the stuff that you are saying about Javasi Koji, how they will come back, blah blah blah. CDC, I don't think CDC will ever come back in power, because next thing, the people that their record when it comes to governance is bad. They gave you 6 years, and you were all on the street. The country was in your hand. You are getting the resources to transform life, to make things possible, the impossible possible.
Whoa.
So that
English.
So that the Liberian people can enjoy life, right? Free school,
Come on.
right? Right? And you know, everything things are difficult for you to kind of help in the process. But at the end of the day, what happens? When CDC took power, we saw the condominium you are building on the highway. We saw diversity coaching and building houses, where we saw people like Calasco wanting to sit at that drink tea 24 hours. We saw Calasco mansion in less than 6 months. We saw people at that time they could not even afford, right? In 6 months time, we saw them building skyscraper, we saw them building houses, we saw them driving car that worth over some of the car worth over 10, 15, let's say 20, 25,000. And then we'll come out here to say, then diversity coach won't come out and tell us they will come out of power. Where? For the party, they get a ball in their hand. They get everything in their hand to change the narrative, so that tomorrow, if even President Bouaka says he won't run, who can run on that party and win the election? But everything based on what they are doing now. There are a lot of things going on wrong in this government, and we say, how much the president can see all, but some of these things when it comes, look, the government will say, look, when it comes to corruption, right? We see the government putting people on suspension under this government through corruption. They're going through the investigation process. And to tell you that this government is working, nursing, everything is not roses, everything is not bread and butter. I agree. But fighting corruption in any African nation is tough. You need somebody who will look at their own brother and put their brother beyond bar. You need a president who will look at their sister or whosoever and put them beyond bar. That's the only way. And we see that in this government.
Don't you think the CDC can do that? Don't you think that's what Okoji is talking about at this point?
Nothing. Koji, they only coming on, they only pray to come to carry on revenge that will not even be within the confines of the law, of the rule of law in Liberia. Because they want to prove that, oh yes, the people go beyond Sametwe, so we'll do them on that type of, arrogant behavior. Now the agony is in them, so they will come with that arrogant behavior. They will like, okay, we'll come and do them one like, so they will not do nothing that will be in the confines of the law. They will still be breaking the sin law that we all come here and talk about. Like my brother said, Emmanuel, that is true. Nelson, we need, if the government, God forbid, if the government fail, meaning CDC and United Party fail, we on the media, we will try to enlighten our people's mind, tell them, you know what? We get CDC says yes, CDC mess up. We get Bouaka, United Party says yeah, they mess up. Now, let all look different. Let all look different style. Let all try to look for somebody, like we can, and like what Emmanuel says is true. Somebody can use the bid to go to United Party or CDC to change the whole narrative, but how it will happen. CDC will look at Georgia and say, you're not going as stand up bearer. No. CDC that Georgia. The moment Georgia move on CDC break down. United Party, I can say that to Bouaka because end of the day, the age Bouaka in now, he may take United Party over. But Georgia still strong. So the moment Georgia said today, I'm done. So Georgia will keep heading, or Georgia will keep being the head of CDC on the CDC come to an end. So nobody will take Georgia from the CDC as stand up bearer. Whether they go for primary, or Georgia with me as stand up bearer for CDC. But that's it. CDC will not come back and we will be on the station. God forbid if the government fail, meaning the both government fail. The both parties fail, the Liberian people. And we'll come here and we'll educate our people to look on the other side. We'll bring somebody new so we can see what happens. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Moba. And We have to close up now. I really wanted us to take some calls, but time is not on our side. I'm getting signals from our technicians that we have to go. So let's do our closing around the table on this one. Maybe we can take 3 minutes each to do our closing as we wrap up on this edition of the Late Night Show.
Did you get my flyer?
Okay, I'll try to find it. And maybe I should just throw this one in while we're closing. This man right here. Can you guys see him?
Who's that?
Do you see what we have?
That Josh uncle.
Yeah, we can see him.
Okay, so this is the former vice chair for operations of the CDC in Nimba County.
So
his name is Prince Ye. Prince Ye, in the midst of everything we're discussing, the man resigned from the CDC.
Oh.
And the same day he crossed over to the Unity Party.
Hey.
So the man is saying, after a careful reflection and consultation and evaluation of everything that's happening politically,
and mobilization,
he has decided to take another path. But is this a grave-seeking former leader in the CDC here? Is he being sincere here? What does this mean for the city? Because, I mean, in everything we're talking about here, you know that the 2023 election, the CDC was the Nimba County was one of that places that really broke the CDC down in terms of votes. That's where the votes were pulling from. And in all fairness, the CDC tried very hard to pull the numbers out, try to rub around the influential sons of the county, but it was impossible. And these were the people who were trying to make it happen for the CDC, but it didn't happen. Why is he crossing over at this point? Too early. And what does it mean about what does this mean for the CDC political future in Nimba? Now we're closing the show. Any one of you, if you just want to chime in on that or add it to your closing or whatever. But let's close the show, guys. It's been a great show, and we're seriously out of time. But we look forward to having another great show. When we come back. But
yeah, look, let me go first, Nelson, if that's possible.
Okay, you go.
Yeah, look, thank you guys, and thank you for the show. Emmanuel, thank you for coming on, and all of our listeners. Look, what I want to say to this last point is that, look, Liberia is for every one of us. At a certain point in time, we know that Eugene Namba was the Secretary General for the UP. People move around. And we know that Kurandi Kofa, even though he was from the LP, which is Liberty Party, but he was the right hand person for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They even used him as a special prosecutor during the Bieber 2 case. So people can move around. I don't see it as anything that will mean much. Let me tell you, George Solo. I think we used to see George Solo on this platform. Huh?
No, yeah, go ahead.
George Solo is from Zouadjou. Zouadjou is in Grand Jida County. George Solo say he was not supporting George Weah. George Weah still won Grand Jida. There are a lot of people, even the senator from Maryland County. He did not support George Weah. George Weah still won Maryland County. So look, we are not trying to despise anyone who feels that at this junction they want to part political ways with us. You are free to go.
George, what does it mean for your political party? This is one of your influential members that's going away. I mean,
Look, if you say President Weah is joining the UP, then it will mean something to me. I will start to look around. Or if you say Joel Howard Taylor is joining the UP, I will be thinking about
So you
something.
are
Or if
saying
you
that he's
say
of no use, he's of no importance to the party.
Absolutely.
no, any of us, we are in this, we are dispensable to this political institution. Today, I might choose. I don't want to support CDC anymore. Nobody's going to do anything to me. It's my will. It's my effort. It's my sacrifice I've made for the party. If I feel that this time is the end of the road for me, I can part ways with them, and nobody will do anything to me. And the worst thing they will do is to insult me because they know what effort, what financial sacrifice or everything I put in for this party. So I don't think they will insult me. I don't want to insult this gentleman here, even though he looked at dwarf to me on the picture. Well, I know the
My
person
man,
who took the picture.
uncle. The respect, man, uncle.
The person who took the picture, the better weekend person.
Yeah,
You
the
person
same,
took the picture here.
You know, this is your former leader. Now the man has crossed over to the middle of the party. You say the man looks at 12. Meanwhile, you and the man.
He took the picture into the man at twice. The picture made it
This
look at twice.
is the point, guys. This is the point. The gentleman standing here is 4'8". Josh is 4'7", but he's telling the gentleman that the gentleman looks like a dwarf.
absolutely.
That man
The
talk
man
about
is
George.
4'8", you are
Nobody will
4'7".
believe
That
you.
man talk about you, my man.
That man Joe the same
Come
height.
on.
Nobody
But anyway,
will believe you. Let me just close, Nelson. Let me just close, Nelson. The reason why we continue to come here is to enlighten our people, so that they will make their own decisions. That when Joseph Boakai go to them next time and say, "My people, you know, to buy a big car as a president, that's a good thing. Joe, we are suffering here. All the person suffering here, they will know and say, you lying, oh man. You know that when you came, you said the same thing. You said you could even use wheelbarrow to go to work, but now you bought $1.2 million car. So that people can know, that there are things that are necessary for the presidency and necessary for our country that we don't need to go behind for political, assault. So we'll always be here. I want to thank you all for always being here. Disagree with me all you want. That's my opinion, and that's my opinion, and that's it. Where you can bring your own opinion. That's it. I'm not going to hold you responsible. But at the end of the day, there are facts, there are individual facts, and there is a truth. The truth cannot be altered. In no way the truth can be altered, and the truth is between there. So whatever you say is up to you. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Liberia.
Thanks a lot, Josh. So yes, let's hear you. Arthur, you want to go? You want to do your closing? Arthur is in Liberia. So let's
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you know the time now. But I would love to join this show. Yeah, I normally join also the night exchange, which is very good too. Yeah. So, but let me say this to most of the panelists, some of the panelists who are thinking about the impossibility, and I also heard you talking about Nimba County. The unfortunate thing is, how can sitting vice president and other leaders of Nimba County allow them going to election and the winner having more than 60, let's just say more than 60,000 persons, and at the same time, the second person that coming, either Gonglo where came with more than 40,000 persons. That narrative, where you have 52 and that of 33%, it tells you that Nima is equally divided, and that Nima is not in the hands of anyone. And like the Prince Johnson's days, and I can tell anyone, how will you imagine and tell people that the current vice president can win an election in Liberia when Prince Johnson, the most powerful man of Nimba County, couldn't win election in Liberia? How? I can tell you, the current vice president, like one of the panelists said, but he's not likable in the youth and student community. The Honorable Jeremiah Cohen is not likable. And in Liberian election, you must have that likability. There should be people who will like you, and that's the reason why you see the former president is likable from the grassroots. People narrate a story through him that he bites people's hearts before he can ask for the hands, and that's what Cummings forgot to do. Cummings did not buy our heart.
I was part of one of the team, or a common exploratory team of the Kingdom Liberia. They
Oh,
invited us. I do
so
documentary.
you are a former
No, no, no. I'm saying,
so you
I was
ANC,
no,
except the ANC
no,
when
no.
Mr.
I'm not.
the
Let
most,
me do clarity now. Don't be excited too much about the coming issue.
but
I'm
they
doing
need to
clarity.
have a whole press conference to do this clarity because
No, and not no, but because my first statement said you did not even hear me. Next, and then you try to just jump on it. I'm saying to you that I was part of a team that met the coming exploratory. Eh?
this is what we do here.
No, yeah, I know, which is good, which is very good. But I'm saying to you that I was part of a team. Let me just do my final closing. I think that would be better. Maybe you'll get what I'm saying. I'm saying I was part of a team that met the coming exploratory team, Pata Wongwe, when it came out, all right, before the 2017 election in 2025, 2020, I mean, 2020, yeah, it was a 15 or 16 between there. When the community exploratory team came, I do documentary, and they contacted us to come in, and they wanted us to work with the exploratory team to do some documentary. And one thing that happened in our meeting was that one time when we told us that we were going to be doing the documentary, and all the equipment were going to be in Liberia. And the only thing that we'll be doing to do the documentary, but there was a whole team in the United States of America that will be editing these videos and doing the publicity. They have already paid for everything. And I told Dad, so he said, Dad, so are you telling us that we cannot edit video in Liberia? You invited us for the kind of people that meeting tell us, so we'll just go capture. I told him, I said, Commis was an American project, and he's not going to succeed. And for that meeting, I left. I was never part of their meeting anymore. And that's how Commis is. Commis has not been able to buy our hearts, so he cannot be able to ask for our hands. And that's the Liberian politics. I will just end up with this. All of you that are thinking the United Party has categorized herself in the elite group, and the CDC is constantly putting herself in, we don't want to say grassroots because sometimes it's demeaning, but we can say it is part of a group of people who are below the belt and are fighting to get out. And they see the story in the CDC, and they will constantly vote for the CDC until in the final end, when CDC it become more elite, then they will leave. But the grassroots, the youth league of the CDC is the most powerful group in the CDC. And I will end up with this. And if you look at it, CDC is going, it's part of our history. And if the United Party is to lose this election, I can predict it will be the end of the United Party. She will not be able to lead any opposition. Other opposition will be new after 2029. That's what I think. That's what I think.
People, I don't know who else has something to
So,
can you unmute?
Nelson,
Can everyone please mute?
Nelson,
Someone has
Nelson, may I close before my laptop died off?
okay.
I think I got Brian Nelson.
Okay. Fellow panelists, I want to tell you guys thank you for having me. And young lady, I want to say thanks for having me on with you guys to discuss Liberia. Like I said then, and I'll say it again, we need to stop using private jet and buy a presidential jet for the president so that it can be owned by Liberia. If we start that, that would be the best thing we can do. As it concerns Jefferson Cody's assertion of CDC winning 2029, again, I'm sorry, Emmanuel, I disagree with you that because if we all want to change, we got to look for somebody that we can sell to the Liberian people so that they can buy. But everybody's thinking that, well, let people fight their own battle. We will all be the same victim of the same clash society, whoever wins from CDC or Unity Party. There's a lot of things we can all do in evaluating leaders for our country that will take our country to the next level. But we don't want to do it because we think we have patronage or we have loyalty to some ruling party. I also disagree with my brother Arthur. Arthur is nothing joke, it's no fun, it's no play, it's no thing, but it takes work. It takes work to beat people who are already popular and is in the in a space. As it relates to the last topic that you just spoke about, I think that people need to migrate from political party to political party when the political party is at its peak, not when it at its lowest. Because when you do it when the party is at the peak, the party is in position, the party is in authority, everybody see that you're not looking for gravy, but you are leaving because you have a real good reservation or a new ideology that it does not line up with your party. So I think that guy need to go back to CDC. If he's not leaving for gravy, he need to go back to CDC and stay with CDC. He's a permanent member. Let him do what he needs to do. Vasco Sumo, hello. This is Benson Mason. I see you guys. Nelson, I wish you'll come back on another day. When I'm invited, I will join you. Until then, my good fellow citizens, have a peaceful and loving rest. I'll see you again.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your contribution. Thank you a whole lot.
Yeah, Nelson.
Let's just continue. I'm still getting the feedback. Can we all mute? Okay, so Emmanuel, I think it's coming from you. Do you have anything else playing around you, Emmanuel? Do you have anything playing in the background? Can you
I'm even
unmute?
muted, so it's not from my end. I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So yeah, Emmanuel, you can do your closing.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Thanks to everyone on the show. It's a pleasure to be back here again after 2 years almost. Let me say this. In Liberia, there are two things that can give you the presidency. Either the political party you are on or your own popularity. You can come with whoever you want to sell. Now, people think about Prince did not win and article Jeremiah Kun may not win. No, that doesn't make sense to me. If Jeremiah Kun stays on CDC or on Unity Party, a possibility of each winning is high. Number one, he's from a very popular county, and with any popular party like CDC or Unity Party, that alone can give him the presidency. It's not just Jeremiah Kun they're going to look at. They're going to look at the party he's going with. The people in that village, they don't know any other thing. They ask that who? They say that CDC, that all the one here. What that monkey there, that chicken there, once they say CDC, they will vote for it. That's how many people won election in Labro. So don't rule out Jeremiah Kun. Don't do it. Prince did not win because you are not on a popular party. Even though you're from a popular county. But you are not on United Party, you are not on CDC. If Prince was either on United Party or CDC, Prince was being president before he died. The same thing with Charles Bronski. If you are on either CDC or United Party, you are being president before he died. The same thing or Todman. Anybody getting abroad there since the war, if you don't go on CDC or United Party, the chances of them winning is hard.
Thank you.
And then for George Weah, whether you will come by or you not come by, it depends on the ruling party. The ruling party can propel the way for the opposition party or destroy the way of the opposition party. If the Unity Party continue the way they're going, where they giving somebody 3,000 for generator, giving the other one $1 million for car, now advocating for private jet and trying to make it fun that because he's Joseph Boaga so is good more than we are. He could turn on our path. You're not going to change anybody's mind. Who believe in CDC or could not be with CDC? You have to do something that will be different from that of the CDC. And then justifying what CDC did because of your time. So if that is what we continue and say CDC will not come out, that's a waste of time. We said it 2011, Joe Weah will never be president. 2005, he will never be president. 2017, never be president. He be president. He will never come back. That never come back at your word. It's the action that will tell whether you actually never come back or you will come back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Josh, you want to do your closing? Josh, are you with us?
How many times you want me to Josh your close? Josh already. Josh was the first.
Oh, Josh
was the first.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he closed already. But then
what do you think on Nelson?
I already close.
Yeah, Josh is trying to be fair. The only thing we need
because we came out.
Need an audit report from the CDC Australia chapter.
I mean, I sent you a video. I want you to play that video, my man. You see the video?
I will check it up. I will check it up.
Ah, yeah, you check it because
Vasco, you want to do your closing quickly?
Vasco.
Yeah, Nessie. Thank you for
I
bringing me
completed already.
on. Thanks to you guys for a great show. So, the last topic touched me. So, I've been sitting here monitoring you guys, but the last topic touched me. So, I decided to come on and give my little input.
Tell her monitoring spirit.
About this guy you put up here, and you understand? My brother George tried to make a salient point, and my man Emmanuel right here. Look, an individual is not a party. This man leaving CDC is not a news. One of the bigger news that we are not even hearing on this show is the news of Kabina Janet. We all know the role Kabina Janet then played during the 2023 election. We know the side they come from. So whenever they move, their people move with them. Okay? This guy left CDC, but he never came out to say any negative thing about the party. Okay? That's his will. Everybody come to a party by their own will, and you decide to leave. But Kabina Janet made serious points against the Unity Party. And these are the things they're going to tell their people. The man is, he said he cannot understand, or in fact he's disappointed. Why, in fact, he even have to campaign or tell his people to vote for the Unity Party. Because the things that he's seeing right now, those are things that never happened before in our country. The way the Unity Party running the entire country. That is the news. This man is an influential person in the society. Nobody knows this guy. I think because the guy left the CDC the few days, so people try to, try to know him. But this is not somebody that people know leaving the party. So I think that also should be discussed. The way that is leaving the Unity Party and the person that leaving the CDC, compare the two. And know where the damage will be done.
20 seconds, Vasco.
Yeah, so let me throw light on the issue of the Jersey coaches saying we are coming back. For me, we always say on the show here, I said CDC, in fact, I was not even thinking about coming back. It is the Unity Party that reawaken the spirit of we are coming back. Because the way in which they handle in the country. And it's glaring, you can see it everywhere. Now see you took your microphone to the public and you got the view of the people. And these are the same people that will be voting. This is a party that confused. I have never seen a party that will bring an idea for people to hate them. It is the Unity Party. They just brought the issue about this ID card. And they also brought the issue about the stopping school from parade. What? People school parading, what you have to do with you doing what you're supposed to do for the country. So they continue to shoot themselves.
How are you giving more time to Nessie?
Me too.
They continue to shoot themselves in the legs. And we are right here.
Vasco.
Those you are coming back,
Thank you.
it's just glaring and it's 100% sealed.
Thank you, Vasco.
Thank you, Nelson.
So Maba, you want to close and then we can
Yeah, no problem.
Finally.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson, and thank you to our many listeners. And
I thought you still with us?
Yeah, am I still there?
Okay. Nelson, I'm about to leave, man.
I'm still here. I'm still following.
Pastor, you have to remain. Let everybody close here. You already came on late. We allow you. Then you say you're going.
Yeah. The man
Emmy will take us home and then we can all leave.
Yeah, but I know it was a great show.
Vasco, one other small. You can't listen to the person watching and go back.
Yeah.
You end the
Yeah,
story, man.
it was a great show actually. We all know the government is not, 100% on the right path, and based on that, we all will come here, as much we get time to express our dislike for every sector of the government, and it ain't me to say CDC was better more than them, no, more than the Unity Party. Everybody get, their own opinion, and what to say, whatever to say on them. That's how they feel. So Cabinet Janet coming out saying what he want to say, that's his opinion, and we gotta respect it. It ain't me to say that all the things he said in his letter, it mean that what happening in Liberia. That's not true. He said it because of certain things. Everybody get disenchantment in the government, like more especially people who support the government and they want something. Probably they want something for something, and it's not happening that way. And it will come out to say what they want to say. Happening doing the CDC government too. A lot of people who support the CDC, more especially the youth. Some of them came out and said a lot of things. It happens, and the only way they things that are happening is because no job in the country, and we want the government now. That's why we keep pushing the government feet to the fire. We're not here to sugarcoat. We're not here to praise and worship this government. We're here to say the truth to this government. The CDC government, the reason was a lot of people worship CDC. The president, the government, they worship them too much. A lot of people, even when they're doing wrong, people will come and worship them. They will bow down to their feet. So they feel everything they were doing was right. But this government, everybody beating on them, they're moving, and we that supported them, we hear when we see the lapses, we say it. When we see things that going, wrong, we say it. And let me close on the whole Adiga issue. I know we're not get time to talk on it, but let me just close on it. I see a lot of people talking about why the government forcing people to take Adiga all they want. Look, you see, in every country we need a system, Nelson, and you can build a system. Yeah, Nelson, I know you won't cut me off now. I know, Nelson. Just give me 1 second. In a nation, you can build. Yeah, you can build. Okay, let me do my 5 seconds. Every nation you can build. Nelson, you can build a nation without a data, right? For example, they say everybody should go there to go do a registration on your ID card whatsoever, and that identical registration you're doing, you're getting your fingerprint. The people setting up database to track every Liberian. They're not something they say go get a lesson. Nesting was there. Nesting went interview now, watch the interview live. The person said their fingerprint. Don't do your hand at it. We live in the 21st century. We don't come and sit down and then you can say, oh, somebody said go do ID card. You go behind the hall, you go to World Trade Center, you bring ID card. No, they will use it. They will trace some people who will commit crime. They will do all the things. That's how our system works. That's how every system works in America. Yeah, you go to job, you go do some stuff. Guess what? You get a fingerprint the day you do something, they pop up. When you go to the criminal justice system, they pop up, they catch you. Liberia will not reach there yet, but gradually, based on that, the government said, let us do an ID card. Everybody you will want you to use their ID card here. Your fingerprint will be in the system that they will trace you even when you do bad or even when something happen, they will able to trace you and get you. That's simple. Now some people must come here and criticize again because everything in Liberia, the people criticize it. Thank you, Nelson. It was a great show.
Emmy, you want to do your?
So thank you, Nelson. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Says Emmy, before you close, I want to ask you a question. So those who are outside of the country after the deadline, would they allow us to still get Adika? Please include that in your
I think whenever you go, yeah.
The people that are outside America, yeah, they can move on that. They can move on that. Can't do Adika. Yeah. Why did that team? You go there, you go do it.
Okay, I'll take my time. Thank you.
Yeah. So just a quick one on that. If the only thing that is going to put you in a hurry to get it is without the ID card, you can't do any transaction. Even if you have money in the bank, if you want to get your money out, bank transactions will require the ID card above your passport. You can even get passport or whatever, but you need the ID card.
But passport for traveling.
And that's the stealing part about it, Nelson.
Passport for traveling, you know.
Passport.
Let me answer my question. I beg you. Please let me answer my question. Let me answer my question. I beg.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. But you can do it anytime. Actually. can do it anytime.
Why they get stay out in America, then they get passport, then they get
Okay,
driver's
then-
license.
Let's have Amy
So
to
if I
close.
carry my
Guys.
passport
We
somewhere, I will not
are
do something.
seriously out of time, guys. We are seriously out of time.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go in the
So,
world.
can you mute Vasco? You can mean buttress mobile.
I will be myself. Don't worry.
So yeah, guys. So Nelson, please don't forget to put my flyer up. But anyways, let me start by saying people talking about George Weah coming back. We shouldn't say George Weah not come back because he's a human magnet. He's what part of the what massive? He from Gibraltar. He down to the people and all of this. My people, these are the rhetoric they want to bring to you to tell you that George Weah, you should elect George Weah for the second time. Let me tell you something. George Weah was a human magnet. You are this. George Weah is a celebrity. George Weah is the best soccer player, if not one of the best or the best soccer player in the entire world. You like him or you don't like him, you cannot take that from him. Everywhere George Weah go around the world, they will know him for that. But not being the best president. It's because of his soccer best soccer playing status. They will know him for that. So even I sitting here, George Weah passing on my street today, I will go there to go see George Weah. It doesn't mean I will vote for him or I like him or he represent what I want for my country. No. When police never even have pickups, they never have cars to honor George Weah, to patrol, to come to your rescue, to save you. George Weah was using $50 million of your money to run campaign. Not CDC money, your money. Children drugs were coming in the country back and forth. They're not prosecuting anybody. Zombies all over the place. Children in the street, the one they want to use today, that is supposed to be out of the street in 1 year. All that one was happening. George Weah was a people person. Under George Weah, all of that was happening. Nobody, he never thought of about that. The only person life that changed it was George Weah and his friends. Even the ones that are going around burning Capitol building and passing around, we will resist. We will do this. Nelson, I don't like this. When you're talking, I'll be quiet. Why you always have to interrupt me? Thank you. They're here telling you that getting a citizen ID is a bad thing. Just because they're not used to doing the right thing, when someone's doing it, it's a bad thing. Let me tell you, development is not something that will come with everybody laying out on their back or something. They're neighboring country that you're always comparing. Look at Ghana, look at Nigeria, look at this. Your thing was sugar and honey for them when they were doing their own. No, it comes with some pain. And we Liberia have to start with that bread and butter on the table and all of that. And if you really want your country to do better, you got to stop with that and accept some pain for it to come and change in the long run for everybody. Don't let anybody come stand for you after the win that they milk it down to the place. They're the reason why the government operating some of the way they operating the way they are, because of the way they damage their country. George Weah inherited a better Liberia than Joe Walker did. So don't let anybody come tell you, if Joe Walker failed, kick them out. Let's try somebody else. They don't have to be popular, but try somebody else. Let's give somebody else the chance. Now George Weah, what are we going back to? What? Stealing? Censoring a bunch of government officials because when investors come in the country, they worry about their own benefits in the country. That's the one we're going back to. Bringing a Jamaican woman and the brother, his wife brother, to be money. Have police people guarding him, taking all your resources out of the country without anybody questioning him. That the love that he got for Liberia, that you should go back to. Don't let anybody. The people that are sitting on this show here, they that suffer under George Weah. But the part of we don't love our country, but only politician and party we like. That's what they want to put in here. But someone will be here to remind you if you forgot what George Weah did. If Joseph Boga don't do anything wrong, God forbid, we looking for somebody else. That's why when I came on the show, I told you, I said, I'm not telling you vote for Joe Boga because I tell you, say he will bring manna for heaven. But he will stop something and do something that the next person come, they will continue from that. And if he doesn't do it, we will continue to search for the right person till we get it. Not go back to the bad seed and I already destroyed it. No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you very much for your input tonight, Emmy. And I want to say thanks to everyone.
Thank you for your campaign speech.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It's
I can see
been
a
a
lot
great
of favor.
show.
You not make it.
Thank
So
you.
you, but to
Thank
the
you,
world,
Vasco.
like
To the,
people are making.
Thank you.
Nelson,
to the audience, you make
Yeah.
it.
Nelson, please.
Don't waste your
On the
time.
issue of the register article, national ID
We'll
in my
discuss
country,
it
grant you
another
there.
day.
Yeah, I just want to put it out there because he's a journalist. We can go and do a research on it. The people can take the people pictures and carry them over. When you come by, the woman name can be on the man picture, and the man picture can be on the woman name. They
Yeah,
listen
these-
up.
But that's so
These
decentralized.
these
Those
are
stuff.
issues associated with it.
Yeah, so let them try to work on that thing. I beg you, on the country that you're the journalist. I just want to put that out there to you, please.
No country
Yeah.
in the world not stop people from getting money
So,
because no country in the whole world.
You
Like,
said it in America.
so
STID.
guys,
they not stop
Because
you from
passport
getting.
and STID are
Stay,
like a
stay,
passport.
Mama,
stay
let
can make them
them
money.
be close now.
So, guys, I want to say thanks to everyone. It's been a great
You
show.
lying to the
Thank you,
people here.
Vasco, for being on here tonight. Emmanuel, we appreciate you. The first time after 2 years, we appreciate you for coming on tonight. Thanks to George Reader, CDC Australia, and thanks to Moba, and of course Emin for being on tonight. Arthur is in the background. I guess he has dozed off to sleep. But thanks to Arthur. And to everyone, it's been a great show.
I'm
Sorry.
still following. I'm still
Please for
following.
my something.
Okay, yes.
Why
So
you keep something?
Emmy has really engaged me for this. So this the team is not here. There has been a cut in the time, and so they usually this is their information. They usually on the Watch News, Liberia Watch News on Facebook and YouTube. So you can join them in the course of the week. But we are here on Fridays and Saturdays, and we appreciate all of you for always making up time to be here with us.
Join us, Emmanuel, if you have time.
They need to change that something on our leaflet, like national issue. Because a bugger issue they can discuss.
Man, you
Business. Sit on there.
yeah, discuss it.
issue,
But
the
when
whole
you go
show,
discuss
bugger
it,
issue.
should not stop you from going there.
So I want to say
National issue.
I want to say thanks to everyone. It's
We
been a
need
great show.
deliverance.
We look forward to being here again tomorrow on Friday. Until then, our folks in Radio Land across the world, thank you. I'm trying to buy time to power stuff up.
Nelson, before you close here, let me just advise our want to share because you start giving our sister a hard time. Because the woman can make a more to our voice can be before daybreak. You start borrowing more.
I'm coming
Don't
back.
give me answer. I would get
Very
it answer.
soon,
Yeah,
I don't
my
want
sharp
this is-
voice.
I mean, a soldier.
They will keep on hearing my
That is
sharp
female
voice.
soldier,
You know,
what are
like,
the only
get
female
better.
soldier that
But
still
something in our blood that will
Listen, and you know, I've been telling
Yeah,
you,
watch.
this
Vasco.
show, we need to have a special day that will go against the people. Let this
Nelson, you might you're not going to bed. You better close the thing and go to bed.
But who holding you
Guys,
to can't
in the
discuss?
Unity Party
What can
government.
I tell you? You can go against
We should
somebody.
have a
Nobody
day.
holding you. Nobody holding you.
So we
Vasco.
can, the people all the shasha money can make. They can compare.
Compare
One
Compare,
year,
contraire.
purple suits.
we will lay one it down flat.
Sit
Because there's
down.
no comparison. For
Nelson,
now.
good night, yeah.
Vasco
Say Amy, Mr. Mova, Mr. Josh, we don't thank you for having me. Vasco, all of you, good night. Go, we'll not do a Vasco part. You can answer. You're good night.
Thanks to
it
everyone.
Emela, we are saying,
We'll be in the
Good night. Good night, Nelson.
We look forward to being here
Vasco
again.
will be down that side.
Until then,
Vasco
Mama, George not going there. How come him go? So rest.
Thank you, sis. I mean,
Look at you're here ready for you.
you come over, I'll keep you in the back.
But